just finally got on the computer and I'm rushing late. I'm just gonna start sharing this. I was contemplating doing this at 11 a.m. But anyways, let me know if anyone's in this chat. This is the last second. Because it was holiday yesterday, Canada Day. Anyways, so no one's in the chat, and I'm just gonna set up the stuff while I get the stuff and then share it on Telegram. I won't have time to make streams for that. Actually, I might be able to get the maybe the Rumble one. Anyways, I'm just gonna go right here, view your channel. What's going on here? Just open the video. Okay, this one here. I hate how there's no video opening. Like, what are we doing? What are we actually doing? Okay, view your channel. I need to pop up the chat Rumble there. One. Anyways, guys, let me know who's in the chat, and I need to get everything set up. I haven't been on the computer all day yesterday, so I am. And I got like a billion messages, and my phone doesn't work. All right, so let's move this up. Alrighty. Anyways, I'm just gonna go like this. Yeah, and then we'll see if people roll in. Okay, and yes, we're still 0 people. Okay, this is a lot. I'm gonna go now. Okay, so we did this. Now I can close this. I'm just gonna edit. Okay, I need to copy this. Open up the Telegram. Alright, and go to, so I think I have now is STEM. Okay, so we have a bunch of messages, and let's go let people know that we're going live right now. This is what I usually do. Okay, anyways, try to power through. And right here. Actually, yeah, so it's just YouTube. So I'll just close this. Okay, so this is just YouTube. It's just YouTube. Let's do this. Okay, so that's it. And go back here. And as we're gonna go over the Stern-Gerlach experiment and go answer some questions. And again, I use this mainly for myself, just to force myself to do math, science stuff. Alright, and anyways, it's recording, so I'll be sharing it everywhere after, and I'll just go like this. Okay, so we are live. And let's see what the questions we have first. Before I get into the Stern-Gerlach setup there, I'm going to start closing this. And let's see some questions we had. And I haven't even checked my email, actually. Probably got a million emails. Let's check what's going on. All right. Anyways, so we have 2 people now. Let me know who's in the. Can you all hear me? Fine. Okay, and let's see what else we got in here. We got. Is there any questions on this? Okay, I think we had some questions here. See, some rumble. What is this one here? What does it even mean? Oh, these guys were arguing about stuff. Okay, many career scientists. Okay. If part of the wing came off for whatever reason, inertia caused it to continue moving forward. Alright. Oh yeah, loud and clear. Juke, epic stuff. Alright. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to look at your message. We'll go over that as we go through. And this guy's again, anyway, these guys just blaming Jews for everything. Moon wing cannot destroy, steal, and conquer. Okay, we know that. Alright, I'm just checking messages. Again, I haven't checked my emails all yesterday because it was Canada Day yesterday. So yesterday, Canada Day. let's say Vancouver. But I went waterboarding or paddleboarding, and then there was very no reception. Needs to speak a bit. I'll get a bit up. Okay, so I need to update volume there. Sound settings. Sound settings. I think that's what it is. 1 second. Sometimes they lower. Yeah. So right here, input. See, they lowered for some reason. I hate when they do that. Okay, how's it now? Okay, big stuff going on. Okay, so I'll have a look there, and yeah, I'll read the other stuff. Okay, yeah. So basically, in the Telegram one, kind of like let me know which ones I can read out, and which ones I cannot. Because if it's something like private, probably email it or send it on Substack. I think that's a good way. If it's public, okay, much better. Yes, that's the thing. It just automatically lowers. Like I have no idea what in the world's going on in this like computer. Like why would they just automatically lower every single time? I make this max, and it lowers. It automatically lowers. I just don't understand like what planet I'm in. More sound settings. Maybe there's more sound settings right here. Recording. Okay, so there's got to be something I got to make it stop like adjusting it. See, it adjusts advanced. Allow applications to take exclusive control of this device. No. What does that mean? It might be that exclusive control of this device. Give exclusive mode applications priority. Interesting. Guess even if in the chat as well. Okay, Edward Barnes. Okay, epic stuff. Yeah, we'll go over the Stern-Gerlach as once I go over some people's questions and so on again. I just got on the computer yesterday. I was all away. Yeah, if you end up reading the stream, okay, yeah, that's kind of what I meant. Like if you put on a Telegram, like try to make it because the thing is I have Telegram opened when I do my thing. So unless you want to make a separate chat there, tiny bit loud, so I can lower this from here now. What I'm gonna do is 1 second. I just gotta okay, so it is a bit loud there. Okay, so it's a tiny bit loud. I'm gonna lower this here. Yes, if it's okay, just leave this. Okay, I'll lower this right here. Hello, testing. Just let me know what this is. I'm gonna unmute this. What are we actually doing? And loud there. Okay, so it's a tiny bit loud. I'm gonna lower this here. Yes, if it's okay, just leave this. Okay, I'll lower this right here. Hello, testing. Just let me know what this is. Okay, I made it 70%. Let me know if that's good. What are we actually doing? Okay, I think it's good. I heard it myself there. All right, I made it 70. I'll keep this open. If it's not if it's too loud or too low, let me know. So I'll keep this open. I have it 70%. All right, guys, let me know. Yeah, so basically on the Telegram, because I have it opened. If you have anything private, probably email or just let me know. Or yeah, there's something because I have Telegram open when I go do my stuff here, and I made a group for you. This is on the STEM one right here, so the people that usually ask questions. I can still hear you well. Yeah, so 70%. I made it 70. So yeah, because Edward Barnes says tiny bit loud. So again, different people have different computers and so on, or they have headphones and so on. So just let me know which is the best one. I think 70% is good. All right, so yeah, so and what I have here now set up is I added. Yeah, I have this folder for STEM. So there's your messages. We'll go over some of the stuff there as we go through and so on. And but I just want to go through a bit of the Stern-Gerlach. But before that, someone sent a message. So I have a link right here. Let's see this message someone sent. The magnetic. Okay, this is the video there. That's actually good. I haven't checked what the comment was. Okay, this guy said, "Have you ever heard of Bill Gade?" And also, before we get to that, someone said on TikTok, I had a question for math stuff. And also, yeah, just to illustrate what happened yesterday. So yesterday, I went waterboarding or paddleboarding, and then my phone, like it was in one of those water bag, so I had no reception the whole day. And then so I was taking photos and videos and so on, and then like there's a water bag supposed to be waterproof, but it was like leaking, and then some water got in my phone, and I didn't realize it. And then it was working, and then it stopped working, and then now it doesn't work. And then my brother told me put it in a bag of rice. So now my phone's in a bag of rice. I'm using my alternative phone, but I have no like phone calls, or I can't use WhatsApp phones I have Telegram because I already had it installed on here, and on my thingy on my computer. So luckily I could still use Telegram. So I can't get phone calls or anything. And he said leave it over for a night, for a day. So I put it inside a bag of rice. And apparently rice is super dry. So then and then basically the difference in pressure there will just absorb the moisture out. Because you can see right here the camera. You can see that there's like water inside the camera there. Whoops. And then also the paper straws. My goodness. McDonald's. I got a mango slush. And it's like paper straw, and it's like literally just like deforming right into your mouth. Like this is like nasty. What is going on here? All right, hello MES, Mabs, let's go. My goodness, oh my goodness, let's go. I love that ending your previous stream. Yeah, epic. Yeah, that was a pretty epic stream. Yeah, so yeah, and what's interesting is actually, so you know, I was saying like pretty much my views of Freemason run the world. Again, different groups or different names. I just call everything Freemason. Because it's the most neutral, and I won't get banned if I say the other name. But it's also, I think it's the most accurate one. And what's interesting is also, if I go here, so you know, before we get further, yeah, so Richard Gage, rgage33. Okay, so rgage33 is his email. So Richard Gage, his email is actually literally rgage33@gmail.com. So then, and to me, this is pretty much like confirms he's Freemason. So rgage33. So 9/11 control opposition disinformation and founder of the 9/11 disinfo group, a 9/11 truth. Yeah, this was in a Zoom call. He's rocking the Illuminati hands like this, pyramid slash Trump hand sign. So he's doing this, and his name is rgage33, and he founded architects and engineers for 9/11 truth, and it's literally Freemason logo. And why is this not going to the side? Anyways, I'm also on little sleep because I came late from the Like we went pretty far away, and then I had to come back on the SkyTrain. Then because I biked the SkyTrain, and then I had to bike back. And anyways, I came back late, slept late, but I didn't want to get through this here. So he's one of the bad guys. Yeah. So if you can see his hands right here, see RGage is the architect, and he does this. His name is yeah. So again, Richard Gage, and his email is rgage33. So he has a 33. Okay, so we're a bit speculative, but it's pretty straightforward. And also, if you look right here. This is from the 1995 Illuminati card game. So the fifth card is literally about Trump. This was here, Deep Agent. So it says Deep Agent, and just let me just wait till I get it. It says you may totally neglect the privilege of privileges attack, and then the attack continues, but the privilege may not be reinstated. Anyways, playing this card is a free move, but interferes itself as an action. Anyways, that's the Deep Agent has this guy, has like blonde hair, and literally he does the Illuminati hand sign. It's literally Trump. And so again, Richard Gage doing that, and there's another thing is a 9/11 truth. Again, the reason I'm gonna keep going this, and just to illustrate something absolutely fascinating that just happened recently. Okay, so here's the Architects 9/11 Truth logo that Richard Gage made, and I'll make a post on Telegram on this later. But I want to go through this because it's absolutely fascinating. Okay, and this is Freemason logo, and literally I made this, and like if you rotate this. And then put it here. Just put it on top, and then rotate the ruler. Rulers exactly match. So in other words, it's literally these are literally the Freemasonic compass. I mean the ruler. Oh yeah, no, that's a square. The square ruler. That's a little. They line up exactly perfectly with how the setup is. Anyways, also that enough is blatantly Trump. Yeah, definitely. Who made those cards? I don't know, but I wanted to buy them. So another thing is, you know how this was super expensive. This one right here, this is the Simpsons. So when I bought this, luckily I bought it in 2020, and I bought it for like I don't know $20 or something, and now it's worth $1,000, almost $2,000. The Illuminati card game, I was gonna buy it on eBay, but it's like $500 like bidding war for it. Illuminati. And the guy who made it's also I forgot who made it, but he's also big on the stuff here. But I also have a bunch of these Illuminati card game stuff. Yeah, the enough is literally Trump, and so on. And yeah, and even this one here, this charismatic one. This is enough charismatic leader. There's the second bullet. So again, there might be a second fake assassination attempt on Trump, but this time he actually like. Fake dies or something like that. That's probably after the Middle East piece. So anyways, there's enough Trump, enough, literally him. And The mugshot one was pretty wild. Evening all. What is a Stern-Gerlach experiment? Yeah, I'll go over that. That's the one that mainstream says it solves, it proves quantum mechanics, but I think it's just basically basic magnetism, and we'll go over that in a bit. And okay, this thing shows 0. Okay, 1 second. This thing here, my thing over here, it says that there's 0 people watching live on YouTube. Yeah, you guys can see the 0 on top. Like, why is it showing 0? So something's up. I need to like reconnect it. What is happening? Okay, so it should not show 0. I'm gonna YouTube view count mute. Okay, I get the view, I got the view count out because it says 0, but it's clearly not 0. Okay, number 1. Okay, Drew's number 1 fan there apparently. Yeah, and then Mavs is number 3. So the top fans. Yeah, and now the versions. We'll go over the Stern-Gerlach experiment. I mentioned before. I had a video on it shortly, but anyways. So again, I'm gonna go over this. You're dealing with that Freemason guy. Okay, so we basically established Richard Gage, likely Freemason, well, almost certainly Freemason, and then a non-truth Freemason, and then this guy right here. So I shared, I think Mike Barra. Where's the one that I forgot when I shared it. Again, I'm still like trying to catch up on. I think this is the one that. Okay, where's the one that an analog revisionist? X space. I think you had. Okay. Anyways, yeah, I forwarded. But anyways, so I'm gonna go right here, agent. Okay, so this guy right here, Mike Barra. So this guy was he held a Twitter space with Nanoland Revisionist last week, and then he basically ambushed Nanoland Revisionist. I only listened a tiny bit of it. And so again, this guy's apparently this guy's a big pro-Trump like agent. This guy's not a real person. He's definitely an agent. Just from like looking at it. So this guy right here, and then he would attack Nanoland Revisionist, and this guy was saying that the basically pushing the mainstream narrative nonstop, and so on. Okay, and anyways, so this guy was attacking him, but notice his name, Mike Barra 333. So there's a 333 in there, and again, he's apparently a born again conspiracy theorist. So I don't know what that means, but also he wants Trump to be, yeah. So he's like in the new UFO committee apparently, but he wants everybody to denounce the Trump assassination attempt. I'm like it was also fake, and so on, and etc. And he also wants Trump to be president a 3rd time. So you can see, I think, 3rd term. 3rd term. I think something like that. Okay, Trump. I think he wanted it Trump 2020 because he said that it was. And yeah, he's basically saying Trump will be running again anyway after the Supreme Court overturns 2020. Anyways, so. So this guy's clearly an agent. Anyways, so his name is Mike Barra 333 in there, and then Nanoland Revisionist said that his Telegram channel, his Telegram account, as far as I see, YT was 9 people can epic stuff. We'll go over some science stuff soon, but again, I'm just trying to wrap my head around. I'm still like on little sleep right now. Yeah, so then right here he says, interestingly, how his Telegram handle ends in 333, just like Richard Gates' Gmail email address. So again, and then notes the Gmail again. Gmail is again Freemason company, Google. Yeah, so then I said, yep, definitely an agent. He also wants Trump to become a president a 3rd time. Note the 333 in his X handle. All right, so again, now we're speculating, and then notice how he's similar with the Richard Gage. So they all use a 333, and then all of a sudden. And then Nanoland Revisionist sent this one. Let me go see if this opens up. Okay, so this person sent a photo that of him. This is the guy, Mike Barra, and he asked him, "Is this real?" And he has a Freemason tattoo on his shoulder. All right, and then he says, "Absolutely," but his excuse is long time in Vegas. There was a limo, champagne, and a stripper involved. We both woke up with new tattoos and hangovers. And all right, and then Nanoland Revisionist says, yeah, this guy was saying, I think somebody's saying, who's going to believe that? But I said, I literally said, sounds like quite the Freemasonic ritual. Okay, anyways, so again, I mean, initiation ritual. So again, I wonder if Illuminati are Freemasons in regards of the Nanoland Satanic occult ritual. Yeah. When you get high enough, definitely. But this guy, again, this guy's covering it up, pushing pro-Trump propaganda. That's just like weird pro-Trump. Like he wants Trump to be king, pretty much. And he's got 333. He's got a Freemason logo, or a Freemason Satanist. I think they're both one and the same thing. When you get high up, it's the same thing. It's like it's a do what thou wilt. Satanic / Aleister Crowley Thelma religion. Basically, you can do anything because you are God, and so on. So, regardless of morals, absolutely. And then anyways, so this guy admits to it, and he says that it was pretty much a Freemasonic ritual. So this is sounds like quite the ritual. Okay, Tammy's late to show. Okay, anyways, enough of this mumbo jumbo. And anyways, this guy is a weird clown. Again, I'm gonna go over this question here. Someone asked the question, and then this guy a math question. So okay,
exercise one.
All right, now we're gonna do some math stuff. Yeah, that guy's super disingenuous. Yeah, you can just tell by him. This guy says, given that the vector function is gonna be multivariable, wouldn't it be properly represented with a metric rather than just absolute values? Interesting. So this one I am not 100% sure. This was a precise definition. Okay, I'm gonna ask Grok because I'm not sure what he exactly means. Metric. And then I will go over some more questions, and then Stern-Gerlach. I just copied and pasted. What's going on here? Anyways, yeah, I didn't have a chance to put it on Rumble and the X and all the other streams. Here is a question I got about. Someone asked about the precise definition of the limit of vector function. What does he mean? Or I have no idea what this. Precise mathematical vector function, vector valued. Anyways, guys, remember this Wednesday streams are basically ask questions and so on. Math, science, technical. We'll go over. Yeah, he looks so crazy in a mugshot. Oh, never mind. He is. Yeah, that is true. Trump is. Well, also, so my friend, his sister actually works in the in the food quality control. I think she works for the government. She checks restaurants if they're following safety standards for food and so on. So then when Trump came to the G7 in Canada, she had to go and make sure all the food is fine. So G7 Canada. So in the G7, Trump. Let's go Trump. So Trump was there in the G7 conference or whatever. Trump meets. This was in. Let's go right here. Let's go. Yeah. So he meets with Trudeau. Where's the G Summit? Departs early. This was in Banff. Oh, in Alberta. Yes, in Alberta. So yeah. So in Alberta, Trump was there. And my friend's sister again was the part of the quality control team of the food and stuff. So so then they apparently have the different ways to check for poison and so on of any of the food that they eat. And so she was literally checking Trump's food. All right, and apparently the chefs that make the food, they all get police escorts and their family throughout the whole event. So when the chef goes home, they literally have someone following them. And then when they go to work, someone's following them the entire time, and then they watch them cook and stuff. So it's like they literally have to track everything that person's doing in case that they poison these puppet leaders. So that was pretty fascinating. All right. Anyways, go back here. I just want to see what this guy was saying. Person asking what the precise definition of vector valued and raising a point about whether using a metric is more appropriate than absolute, given that vector can only involve again. What's a metric? Question. Multivariable, where input is that a more general metric might be appropriate instead of absolute metric. Is that why it matters for single? Suggesting that for value functions with multivariable inputs, he basically wants to change it instead of going strictly limit definition to be a metric. Also, input is which are only suitable for a single variable. All right. Interesting. Okay, in a domain, what is saying, shouldn't there be, is there one? Given that the vector function can be multivariable, it would properly represent a metric. I think that is true. Okay. Is there represent? Let's say represent. Okay. Represent the definition using a metric. All right. All right. Let's see this. Limit. Okay. Yeah. So basically, yeah. I think I get it now. I haven't done metrics before, but anyways, we'll get back. I'm gonna send this to the person and then see what happens. All right. And I'll say interesting. Yeah, yeah, they could be. I haven't dealt with metrics before. As my calculus book only focuses on 3D vector functions. Here is Grok AI's response to your message. Oh yeah, here's Grok AI. I'll send this one here. Oh, that's exactly 50. Okay, there it is. Actually, no, it's not exactly 50. Never mind. I gotta edit this one. 1 second. I am delete this one. Delete. Reply and then whoops. I just what is happening? Okay. Yeah, it could be. I'm gonna go like this. Yeah, 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 it could be, but my calculus book focuses on 3D vectors. See Grok AI response for more. Okay, let's see what this. Let's see this answers this question. Okay, there it is. Anyways, so we answered one math question that someone asked, and now we're gonna go over. I think we had a bunch of stuff here. Anyways, a bunch of random stuff. Okay, and then yeah, this guy also asked here. Have you ever heard of Bill Gates? I'm not sure if have you guys ever heard of Bill Gates? He has a ton of videos on YouTube. He does what he calls rational physics. Very worth looking to him if you have an opinion. I have to make videos on this. I'm just gonna have a quick gander at this, and then we'll go over the Stern-Gerlach, and then I think because and then Drew Truscott, I'll go over your stuff at the second hour, basically yeah. The first hour I just go over this, and then after that I'll go over your stuff because your stuff is a bit more intense and deep. So we'll go over that after. I just want to go over this one quickly. I've never heard of this person, Bill Gates. Amazing interpretation of mathematical physics. When an atheist tries to think. Quiet, please. Atheist thinking. Okay, interesting. I haven't looked at his work. Cool beans. Yeah. So I'll go over yours after, just because yours it's like you're pretty much trying to create a a new theory of everything, and it's pretty epic. Okay, this guy's saying why God doesn't exist. We are the last humans. L crazy she. Okay, this guy is the rope hypothesis. Atheist. So he's anti-ether. Bill Gates' physical interpretation of the ether of the theory of everything. Interesting. Equation for the so he has a single thread model of the universe. This is all there is, a thread. The slit experiment. Hosender and Ode dissect young slit experiment. Okay, is he with her? Who's or them two? Oh, that's okay. So I think just what really is electricity? Electric universe. Electricity is bunk. Okay, so again, a lot of these people, it's like, well, what's how magnet physically attracts another? Okay, I'm gonna see what this guy says here. Okay, so this is my highest viewed video. And how do they work? Okay, some magnets. What's your point? Anyways, so my view is when anyone talks about any physics, you check on 9/11. All right. Where were the physicists on 9/11? Okay, see what he says here. There's World Trade Center 7. Okay, let's see. I think he's pushing. Let's see if he pushes them.
Today's 21st.
Okay. Research claiming that the smoking gun 9/11 was World Trade Center. What happened? Why weren't the famous mathematical physicists interviewed as expert witness on what caused it to disintegrate? Okay, he says to disintegrate. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, I just want to check his 9/11 stuff first, because again, in my view, I literally, it's like if you want to get, credibility, you get 9/11 right.
Anniversary of 9/11.
Let's just check what the transcript say right here.
Okay, you can say it's practically history. What has happened? It's like normal demolitions. Okay, that's what you're seeing there. Okay, so a lot of people say, well, it looks like World Trade Center 7 was a demolition. And the problem was that it takes several months to bring down a building through demolition, such as.
Also notice that it's all quiet, and also this is way bigger than any one of these. The size, so when you compare side by side, this is very misleading. What it should be is this should be like towering above. This would be tiny. So you can't just compare relative scale. You need to compare. You need to compare absolute scale. You can't just compare where it's like where you just shrink it so that it's the same height. You need to look. This would be like literally a tiny fraction of this one.
World Trade Center 7, so it couldn't have been done that same morning, couldn't have been done that same day. To bring it down like that, if it was a controlled demolition, it would have taken months to put all the explosives in place. So now what's the issue? Well, the issue is that, we have on that day, what is interesting for me, and something you may want to ponder if you want to do an investigation, a serious research on the subject, is why weren't physicists, okay, so-called physicists, mathematical physicists, why weren't they interviewed on that day and days subsequent to that? Why weren't some of these big-name physicists questioned about what happened on that day? For example, imagine they would have asked Stephen Hawking, okay? Stephen Hawking, they would have said, look, how did that building come down? And he would have done maybe his experiments, his measurements, his calculations, and what if, just a what if, right? He would have come back and said, that was a demolition. That building was demolished. Okay,
so anyways, it looks like he's just saying the alternative mainstream setup, but he just asked. So it looks like he's on the anti-mainstream narrative, but again, from a weird setup right here.
That would have been a different world. And I'm sure they would have been visited by someone saying, we encourage you to change your mind, to recant.
Okay, yeah, so, yeah.
But it would have made a big difference if a big name, several big names, in mathematical physics would have said, this is what I think happened. Even if they would have said the opposite. Even if they would have said, yeah, that was brought down by debris, by fire, by whatever. Okay, it doesn't matter.
Okay, so here's the link. Yeah, so this is, again, this is how I research everything. So this guy is saying ether is wrong. Yeah, 9/11 is what? All you have is is just a question. like he thinks it's demolition. And Building 7, again, so it's like, yeah, again. Conspiracy theory, Illuminati impose a new world order. Is the upcoming, I just want to check what he says, cause of autism and homosexuality. Alright, this guy's on another level. Alright, yeah, so there's a link.
Why don't we get started
9/11 revisionist, and I'll put it in here as well. Again, what people don't realize is like the 9/11 is the question. I'll put it in there as well, and let's see what it says right here. The Illuminati impose a new world order will genetically modify the shrinking island theory. Who does Bill Gates work for? New World Order is the upcoming extinction. I hate that this don't tell me things. If you ever see my channel, I literally tell you what in the world I'm gonna cover. Or besides these streams, I just say I put the question there, but I literally tell you what my entire video is about. This makes conspiracy theories undermine conspiracy theory. Okay. What is this even about? Okay, I'm gonna go right here. I'm gonna go and see if the in Leo one's working. Okay, copy in Leo. Alright, I'm gonna go right here and summarize because I don't have time to watch all this. And again, this guy's super atheist for some reason, so he's crossing out in God we trust there. So it's like we keep an eye on you. But no, or unless he's crossing this out for Illuminati purposes. But again, anyways, so this guy nonetheless I just want to see what the results would be. I'm going to summarize it just because it tells you exactly what it is. Because like I that's why I like Wikipedia, even just because it's like tells you from a mainstream perspective exactly what the thing is. So yeah, so I don't beat around the bush, just go straight at it. All right. Rope hypothesis. Okay, so this would be an interesting one here. Yeah, I'll just say I'll check it out. Okay, and then I'll keep one of the videos, and then we'll, actually we'll look at it right now. I just want to go see back his most viewed video. Okay. Well, he's anti-Ethereus. It's like Ethereus are irrational. Who's he talking about? He's getting like, and he's uploading a lot. Mathematics is not the language. Okay. Me and him are on opposite ends. God conscious as a whole is everywhere. Yeah, but he's saying a single thread model of the universe. But it's like again, it's like yeah. Again, what's the point? Is get a point. Okay, let's see what he says. How a magnet physically attracts another. Let's see what he says. Einstein idiots number 9. Law of attraction. Let's see what he says right here.
Why do two magnets stick together? What is this invisible aura that enables a magnet to attract something from a distance?
The mathematicians call the magical substance that surrounds a magnet a field, formally defined as
the presence of a quantity at every point in space.
Quantum and classical mechanics insinuate that the mysterious halo that surrounds a magnet consists of discrete particles. Indeed, as a particle theory, quantum mechanics absolutely demands it. However, when you look up how a magnet works, you see no sign of the particles quantum mechanics predicts. The experts explain that a magnet is comprised of microscopic regions known as magnetic domains. When aligned, the domains generate lines of force that sweep around the magnet, but not a single professor at any university in the world can tell you how these lines of force are related to quantum particles or how they physically produce attraction.
How does the north pole of one magnet physically attract the south pole of another? What is physically going on at these two ends?
One expert answers,
The field lines leave the north pole of one magnet and naturally enter the south pole of another.
this is not an explanation. This is a description. It does not tell you what is physically going on at the north pole of a magnet to attract the south pole of another. If there is one force that quantum mechanics will never be able to explain rationally with discrete particles, it is the force of pull. How does a gluon pull on a quark?
The rope hypothesis, on the other hand, enables us to explain attraction rationally. By rationally, I mean that you don't need to stretch your imagination. We can make a movie and you can visualize exactly how one magnet attracts another one.
Thread theory proposes that two atoms are permanently interconnected by a two-strand electromagnetic rope. Light is a torsion propagating in two directions along the rope. When the atoms spin, one of the threads swings around the atoms. The mysterious lines of force that sweep around a magnet, and which the mathematicians call a field, are countless threads that originate in the electromagnetic rope. A magnet is not divided into north and south poles, or in negative and positive, as the mathematicians lead you to believe. In physics, there is no such thing as north and south poles, or positive and negative. In physics, there is only clockwise and counterclockwise. A magnet is divided into top and bottom. If the domains in the upper half of a magnet swing the threads clockwise, the bottom half swing the threads counterclockwise. Here we see a cross-section of the lines of force swinging around a row of electron balloons which are bound together by their electric threads. Electric current consists of the in situ spinning of the electron serpentine. Notice that the effect we know as electricity runs perpendicular to the direction in which the magnetic threads swing. If two wires have current flowing into your eyes, the magnetic threads in both wires swing counterclockwise. Conversely, if we turn one of the wires around, the magnetic threads clash against each other and push the cables apart. These are the patterns formed by iron filings sprinkled over two wires carrying current in the same direction. The wires are attracted towards each other. The first pattern resembles what we would see if the iron filings were swung in a circle around the wire. The second one is a figure 8 pattern. It is as if the iron filing here attempted to circle the wire on the left, but before it can do so completely, it is picked up by the second wire and swung around itself. Then, the iron filing is again picked up by the wire on the left and never manages to complete an orbit around one wire. The third pattern shows the iron filings circling both wires in an elliptical path. Iron filings sprinkled around two wires carrying current in opposite directions show a pattern resembling two rollers of an old washing machine squeezing water out of a shirt. These wires repel each other. It is as if an iron filing were bound by a string and was swept around each wire. When the particles are between the atoms, their paths are squeezed through a tighter opening. Of course, the iron filings do not orbit the wires. What does swing around are the countless threads originating in the wires that sweep through the filings like your hand brushing down beads of an abacus. It is this activity which compels the magnetic domains of the iron filings to align.
The applied magnetic field passes right through the iron undiminished. It then induces a secondary magnetic field in the iron. A magnetic field is made up of lines of magnetic flux. If these lines of flux cut any metal object, a conductor, then a current is induced in that piece of metal.
Let's take a live wire and fold it to form a U. Notice that the threads on the top and bottom part of the wire swing in opposite directions. If we continue to coil the wire, we have a solenoid. The magnetic threads at the top swing clockwise and those at the bottom swing counterclockwise. The aggregate of threads generates a force through the center of the coil. If we superimpose a magnet on our solenoid, we verify that the direction of the electron serpentine, the field, and the force are consistent with observation. The domains of a magnet are regions where the electron serpentines spin in the same direction.
So what does all of this have to do with attraction? How does a magnet physically attract and repel another one? Let's first illustrate the mechanism in simple terms to understand the principle.
There are two twins, Axel and Rod, who are skipping their respective ropes a little too close to each other. They are both facing in the same direction and swinging their respective ropes counterclockwise from your perspective. Their ropes interfere with each other. While Axel's rope comes down, Rod's rope goes up. Axel's rope pulls on Rod's rope and vice versa. Notice that the ropes scan the attraction pattern we saw between two wires running current in the same direction. Now Axel turns around and swings his rope counter to Rod's. This time the ropes push each other away. We verify that the ropes describe the two rollers of a washing machine pattern we saw during repulsion. Let's extrapolate this mechanism to two magnets. The north pole of one magnet attracts the south pole of another because top threads spin clockwise while the bottom threads spin counterclockwise. The more threads that intervene in the process, the stronger the repulsion or the attraction. This explains why magnetic strength is a function of the distance between two magnets. If we turn one of the magnets in the top-bottom direction, we verify that nothing changes at the traditional north and south poles. The electron serpentines at the top, which run parallel to your line of sight, continue to swing the threads clockwise and the bottom ones counterclockwise. However, if we rotate one of the magnets in the traditional north-south direction, the direction of the top and bottom threads is reversed. The top threads of the magnet now spin counterclockwise, whereas the bottom threads spin clockwise. Consistent with experience, we verify the repulsion pattern developed between the two north poles that now face each other.
After 80 years of quantum mechanics, the members of this religion cannot tell you what a field is, how the lines of force are related to particles, or how they produce attraction. They never will. There is absolutely no rational way to explain the force of pull with discrete particles. On the other hand, threads justify lines of force and explain attraction and repulsion. A magnetic field does not consist of particles as quantum mechanics would have you believe. The particle hypothesis should once and for all be abandoned. There are no discrete particles in the universe.
Right. And this is again, I'm trying to wrap my head around. It's like he says there's no particles, so then what are these? All right. Okay, so basically, rope hypothesis is, and these are electromagnetic. I'm trying to wrap my head around again because he literally thinks those lines of force are something. Those lines are just the direction where the iron filings line up, and yeah, the rotation one again. It's similar to the ether model, but it's like the ether one. It's just there's no. Let's go physics playlist. Yeah, so I'm trying to wrap my head around it. And the other thing is like it can do without the mocking the mainstream, because you have to realize the mainstream has quantities, meaning it quantifies it with numbers and that you can physically measure and so on, and you can produce things like phones and other things. So so I'm trying to say is you got to be able to produce something better. So I'm going to put this here, and so as I showed before, the ether one. I think I have. Where's the ether one? Yeah, this one right here. Like I already showed experiment 45. I've emailed him. Let's see if he responds. Yeah, definitely. That's litmus test, because it's like you get 9/11 right, and then the game changes. Otherwise, you're just gonna be like arguing. Yeah, he's gonna be arguing like gatekeeping topics. It's 45. So if you haven't seen this one here, literally the ether model. This is a mechanical analogy of just rotating cylinders. So there's a magnet, it's just rotating. That's it. and it can create attraction and repulsion with a fluid ether or just a fluid magnet. So in other words, this model, again, this is like, it's irrefutable in that this is a physical experiment that shows a mechanical analog of magnets. And this just uses water rotating. So again, if you haven't seen these videos, I highly recommend watching them. You can replicate most of the magnet's properties there. So, and the thread thing, so every single line of forces, there's infinite threads that goes. So it's like he has a bunch of threads connected to something. But anyways, I need to like deep down more into it. But it's again, when he's saying he's anti-ether, that's a bit too much. It's like, why are you attacking ether people? Okay, why does this not work? Okay, sometimes it takes a while to load, but anyways, so apparently, yeah, he thinks building 7 is a smoking gun. It was first of all a dustifying building, and the scale. Okay, the scale one. I'll go back to the scale. All the ones when you see a building 7 comparison one, you go to model 911. I think I had something like that, or building 3D model WTC. I think okay, that's 3D model. I'm gonna go like I think there's a building plus go 911. I think size or towers. I could have seen something here. I'm just gonna go right here. 3D comparison. What was a building? Demolition. 9/11. Okay, so I think that's a good one here. Yeah, and then there's another thing. Is the giant, like this is a regular demolition. Here's the 9/11. Like what in the world is that? That's the Twin Towers. But I want to go over this quickly, just show it. I can't believe I can't find it. Okay, plus scope building is 37. I think model. I can't believe I just can't find stuff. This is 9/11 Vancouver. Okay, I think Vancouver. No, tallest Vancouver. Okay, yeah, this one here. So building 7 is like roughly yeah, building 7 is going to be taller than this one. So these are the tallest ever demolitions, and this is the tallest building in Vancouver, Shangri-La. It's like around this height. And there's these ones, and building 7 would be around here, and like way thicker and bigger. So again, these ones, these are the biggest ones. So whenever you see random comparison, you have to always check the size. I think let's go plus go building. Plus go. Okay, this one here, WC compared to size. Yeah, here it is. Versus the 9/11. I'm just gonna put this right here. 9/11 to see justification. Compare the size of the rubble via this 3D model. I did that so I could search stuff. So again, now I can go 9/11 model, and it shows you exactly what I was wanted to show. So 9/11 3D. Yeah, here's the bottom 3D model. Yeah, there's a 3D model, and now here is the second one. So this one here, again, this is building 7. This was a demolition of, so again, but then typically what they do is they would like zoom in on this one and make it the same size as this one. But like, that's the building. This one is massive, massive. That's building 7, okay? And this is the building here, and this is the Twin Towers. Here's the building. So that's why you also have to see the actual size. And then there's the rubble of the building. And compare the rubble with this one here, which is the ground level. And also there's a bunch of weird eyes there. Alright, anyways, so that's that part. I'm gonna go over Stern-Gerlach, and then we'll go over Drew's theory of everything. Info on the 3D. Okay, this is Nancy sending me a bunch of AI 3D mumbo jumbo, and we'll get in a bit. And also, John Hutchinson's gonna be joining the stream on Saturday with Gene Manning. So Gene Manning's gonna be interesting. And for those who don't know, Gene Manning, I think she has a Ether Substack. Okay. Yeah. So Gene Manning, she's gonna be joining the stream. So she's actually met Dr. Judy Wood, and Judy Wood actually gave her the book Where the Towers Go to her personally, and so she met her, and yeah, also she's good friends with John Hutchison, and so on. And she has a Substack called Ether Ore, and it's pretty good stuff. But then I gotta like ease into when I talk to her, because she was at the Cosmic Summit with Bob Greener and our favorite grifter Ashton Forbes. All right, so again, she's pro Ether, so that's a big one. And that's and also Summit. So she posted here Summit highlights, hidden knowledge. So she'll be on the show, and she posted some highlights here, I think. Yeah, so Ashton Forbes shows paper trail. Like, anyways, so she doesn't realize. Yeah, she doesn't know he's a complete hack. And this guy's at the Cosmic Summit. And she also, again, Bob Greener's at the Cosmic Summit as well. And then on a Monday, Bob Greener then thanked Ashton Forbes in the last nearly 2 years. He's done more for getting scientific papers understanding out to the wider community than almost anyone in the world. Okay, so he's publishing scientific papers, or no, I mean just getting them out to the world. Yeah, but he's also lying to everyone about the fake videos. All right, so that's this is an interesting thing, and I'll put this in the rumble. In this comments right here. I'll put it right there. All right. So again, it's like the Ashton Forbes angle is again. It's like this guy here, and also he's at the Cosmic Summit, and Ashton Diddy. So that same Cosmic Summit, Ashton Forbes he's deleted these tweets now. He says, I had to permanently cut ties with several long-time followers, whether dating or just friendship. You only get one chance with me. If you ruin the chance, there won't be another. So apparently he was with some random girl there. So so he says, what happened is I hooked up with the girl at Cosmic Summit, and then the day I left, she effed another one of my followers, friends, while she was still sending me missing messages. She was coming to visit me without telling me about this. They all lied about it until a third party, okay, notice how he distanced himself from his name here. Third party reached out to me to tell me yesterday. When confronted, they all continue to lie and act like victims. Everyone's pointing the finger at everyone else. I'm disgusted. I feel gross. I cut ties with all of them. It's a sad situation. Again, keep that in mind, the third party. This person says, well, thanks to a third party who informed you. And then he says, the third party is actually the biggest monster of all, an actual predator. I have DMs I wish I never saw. The whole situation is so disgusting. I promise I'm giving you all the censored version. And I think he deleted these tweets. And I saw these live. So it sounds like Ashton Forbes was attending a Diddy freak-off party. Again, so this guy right here, who's done more for science, according to Bob Greener, and thanked him. And then Gene Manning is writing about the highlights at the Cosmic Summit. And this guy has DMs from an actual predator showing disgusting things and so on. And then he's with what appears to be a cosmic hoe. That's what people are calling her, if that's real. Again, that is some mind-boggling stuff going on here. Okay, a bunch of people here arguing about stuff. Okay, I'm gonna close some stuff here. All right, so anyways, that's that part. I'm gonna go to the Stern-Gerlach, and this ties in with the ether moment ago. Okay, this goes to physics, and the reason I'm gonna go over the Stern-Gerlach, I'm gonna go watch them. I'll be back, and then I will play. What should we play while we go? Okay, I'm gonna play the Stern-Gerlach one. Magnetic isomagnetic isopotentials. So this one is the big one of a magnet. An electric current. Anyways, and a field, and also what the guy was saying, the field definition, well, it's just it's just a quantity in a space. That's all what it is. It's not actually telling you what the actual field is, but it's just basically, let's say a point here, if it's has the strength here, how much electron volts or current or whatever, and you have a space right here. It's more of a mathematical construct, but just to explain this. Anyway, did you see Bernie come back from the summit claiming professional and financial miles had occurred? Lack of better words. Interesting, Bernie. I'm not sure who Bernie is. Anyways, I'm going to play this while I go wash them. Keep this in mind. Magnetic field is the shape formed... this is the magnetic isopotential lines by Fractal Woman, who's literally pretty much made things extremely simple. And I'm going to play this, I'm going to go wash them. The shape formed by... The magnetic field is the shape formed by iron filings in the presence of a magnet. An electric current through a metal wire produces a magnetic field just like a permanent magnet. Using Michael Snyder's Pick-to-Mag app to plot contours of equal magnetic field strength. You can find this at pick2mag.com. These magnetic, quote, isopotential lines are perpendicular to the magnetic field. A close-up of the magnetic field and isopotential lines. The magnetic field lines can be thought of as many smaller magnets surrounding a bigger magnet. The isopotential lines are perpendicular to the magnetic field. Fractal Woman illustrates the magnetic isopotentials by measuring the voltage or electric pressure around a magnet. Magnetic isopotentials can be thought of as pressure gradients. Each dot represents a 0.06 volt reading at a distance from the magnet. Fractal Woman's voltage readings match the isopotentials plotted from Michael Snyder's Pick-to-Mag software. The isopotential lines are actually 3D surfaces. The 0.6 and 0.7 volt readings are shown. Pressure gradient equals change in pressure over a distance. In the case of air pressure, large pressure gradients have closer isopotentials and strong winds are expected. Small pressure gradients have more spread out isopotential lines and weak winds are expected. Likewise, for a magnet, large pressure gradients have closer isopotential lines and strong flow is expected. Small pressure gradients have more spread out isopotential lines and weak flow is expected. Magnetic. Alright, anyways, yeah, I'm back. Okay, so cryptologics. See this video right here? So the key thing I'm trying to get at is if you plot out the equal magnetic strengths of around a magnet, you get these curved shapes. So all these have the exact same strength. And then the mainstream field is just how the magnets orientate. I mean, how the iron filings orientate around a magnet. But the key thing is that these contours of equal strength, this one is a better way of viewing magnetism or a better way of describing the field. Like this is the dominant field that helps explain anything and everything. And we'll get to that in a bit. Yeah, so we have that. And so crypto alchemist's name is Bernie. Okay, so we'll get to that. So yeah, keep that in mind. So keep these in mind when we do the Stern-Gerlach experiment. And this part right here, there's a strength, and then also see what happens when you drop it. Flux equals ether flow, question mark. Fractal Woman demonstrates magnetic isopotentials on a level table. The table is perfectly level. Okay, so this is just to make sure it's all level, and so on. This is without a magnet, so it's not rolling anywhere. Just to illustrate how magnets behave. So this is a small magnet or small ball bearing next to a... Okay, so there's a small magnet. So now she has a small magnet and there's a big magnet. And just notice what happens right here. So it does not follow the flux lines, like the actual the field lines. Do you get what I'm trying to say? It does not follow from here to there. It goes in a circle. Tends to roll along its current magnetic isopotential line towards the bigger magnet. All right, so in other words, it does not follow even that thread model the guy was talking about. It does not follow it. It goes around, and then once it gets closer, it launches over. So if you plot out the actual, this is actually from the software as you put in there. I'll see if I can open up now, and so on. But anyways, so it goes like this and goes around. All right, and notice how it goes, follows along. Even placing the tiny magnet at the left can make it go to the right while going along its current isopotential. Yeah, so you can even put it here and it will still go around this side. So in other words, it's going literally the longest way possible before going to the magnet. The small magnets have their own isopotential lines. So because if you had a magnet right here, and if you were only looking at the flux lines, you would think this would just go straight to it, but it does not do that. So it's not just the attraction, it's how it attracts. So in other words, it goes in a circle. The small magnets follow the path of least resistance. Tiny magnet still wants to align with an isopotential line even if pushed forward towards the bigger magnet. Yeah, keep that in mind. So so she pushes it forward. Again, the flux lines, you would think it would just throw the magnet over to here, but it does not. It goes on the side still. Tiny magnets tend to move along isopotential lines even when the large magnet is placed on its side before then flying to the poles. Yeah, so now if you wanted to go straight, you put it on a magnet on its side, and now the poles are on the side, and then it goes to the center, and then it goes to the poles. So now notice that now it actually behaves like how the flux lines should be. But the thing is, the poles are there, yet it goes in the center. Notice how it goes. It goes around these flux lines. I mean the isopotential lines. So isopotential just means iso, one, potential, just the energy. Or one value, whatever. When placed really close, the tiny magnet flies directly to the pole of the larger magnet. Okay, so notice it just flies there. Again, tiny magnet. So the difference between like this kind of stuff and even mainstream or even the other guys, like this is a physical experiment demonstrating exactly this is just again common stuff that this is just the quantity. Now we're changing it from the flux lines into the isopotentials, so there's no even like there's nothing to debate here. That's just what's happening. Or steel ball bearing can be placed at the side of the larger magnet, but it is unstable. So you can actually place it on the side, and then if you just tap it, it flies over. Slightly tapping the tiny magnet causes it to fly to the poles. So then, so like a tiny magnet, put it at the pole, it still will not go there unless it's unless you nudge it a bit, because you could place it perfectly in line, just balancing these two isopotentials. All right, so we have that, and now we can do the Stern-Gerlach here, how it explains it. Oh, yeah. Magnetic isopotentials show the unstable configuration. Any slight deviation from the perfect balance will cause the small magnet to fly to the pole of the larger magnet. The Stern-Gerlach experiment involves a beam of electrically neutral silver atoms moving through a non-uniform magnetic field. Individual atoms are deflected either upwards or downwards, but never in the middle. The mainstream explanation is the silver atom's unpaired electron is either spin up or spin down. From the yeah, and so this is a Stern-Gerlach one. And so again, this is the basis of mainstream physics. Mainstream quantum mechanics. Stern-Gerlach experiment. So basically, you have individual neutral silver atoms your proper sinusoidal epic stuff. So individual neutral silver atoms have one unpaired electron, therefore exhibiting paramagnetism. And then I'll just say what this paramagnetism is: just a form of magnetism where some materials are weakly attracted by an externally applied magnetic field and form internal induced magnetic fields in the direction of the applied ones. Basically, it's just this one's attracting. This one's again irrelevant to, not necessarily directly relevant to. Basically, what's happening here is that they're saying that this is actually it's magnetic, and because yeah, so it's magnetic and it's going through a bigger magnet right here. So in the mainstream theory, we'll go over it just to make sure we're all getting it correctly. Stern-Gerlach and Wiki, and then we'll go with Ask Grok experiment Wiki. See the Wiki one, and also how and yeah, so the difference is Stern-Gerlach on Wiki. That's pretty much mainstream accepted view of reality, the main and so on. Anyways, the Stern-Gerlach experiment demonstrated that spatial orientation of angular momentum is quantized. Thus, an atomic scale system was shown to have intrinsically quantum properties. In the original experiment, silver atoms were sent through a spatially varying magnetic field. And the difference when they say varying, it just means that you have it going at an angle, or as opposed to perfectly all going one direction. I mean, they all go in different directions. You have one in the center going down, this one going to the right, and so on. And they do that just by making this like a pointing shape there. And we'll illustrate this a bit better. Anyways, this is Stern-Gerlach one, but this notice how this is just a theoretical one they set up here. So this is what is expected apparently. It just goes all over the place. Stern-Gerlach traveling through an inhomogeneous magnetic field, being deflected up or down. And yeah, this is again inhomogeneous or non-uniform field because they go in different directions. And so on, but it goes through the literally the center of the at the point of the magnetic isopotentials, like literally at the actual center line here. I'm just gonna go back here and see what. It's been a while since I looked at this. Yeah, this what this is. This is the north side, is the south. You literally have just two magnets. Even though this is and these are all non-uniform. Notice the flux lines going. I mean, this is the isopotentials. The flux lines are going to be going something like that. But anyways, just we'll play this. She makes a second video on. I'll have to do one specifically on Stern-Gerlach. But what I'm going to go back to here is just 1 second. I'm just trying to wrap my head around. So, anyways, so particles with non-zero magnetic moment were deflected. Owing to the magnetic field gradient from a straight line, the screen revealed discrete points of accumulation rather than a continuous distribution. So it either goes up or down, basically, and then they're saying that this proves that magnets have, atoms have a spin up or spin down, like electrons and so on, or yeah, and so on. So, or civil atoms. Anyways, revealed discrete points of accumulation rather than a continuous, owing to their quantized spin. So now they added the spin, which is a form of angular momentum, and they quantized, and basically they added this other term there, and so on. So now we have this. I'm gonna go back here, and then just watch what happens. But basically, what you basically have is just a magnet. It's a non-uniform field.
Potential lines. These silver atoms behave like a tiny magnet passing through a large...
Yeah, Tammy, I hypothesize this is actually how chemical interactions occur. Every element has potential and interactions of these with the HHO. Yeah, definitely. And you'll see that they're all very, very similar, even to the atomic orbitals and so on. They all just match up.
Magnet. The tiny magnet...
So, basically, the Stern-Gerlach is when you send a tiny magnet, or a silver atom, which is like a tiny magnet, just has an unpaired electron, so it's actually like a magnet. So it has a charge, has a magnetic moment, whatever you call it. In other words, it's just spinning, and it goes like this. It goes through this inertial plane. That's what, or just a block wall area of the magnet. So there's the north, there's the south, and then it exits along an isopotential. So it either goes up or down, based on whichever alignment it was closer to. This one is if it's closer to this one is going up. If it was on the other if this was flipped other way, this would go down.
Along an isopotential line, either up or down. When stacking many magnets together, the magnetic strength is much weaker in the middle and much stronger at the side.
Yeah, this is an interesting part here. If you stack a bunch of magnets, and then this is using isopotential lines, again, it just shows you this is the strength there. So it's not going to be, basically, that's how the strength are. So if you only look at the flux lines, you might miss this out because this is actually saying what are the actual strengths. So this one here has the same strength as these parts right here. So, and these are further apart. All right.
Right.
But I can easily move it, see? Easily move it. But when it gets to the end, I cannot move it. I can no longer move it. It holds the whole string up by holding the ball. Okay?
Visualizing the isopotential lines in 3D.
Notices this bulb shape. It's pretty much shows up everywhere, in life. Okay, I'm gonna keep going this further, and also explains the Faraday's paradox. Yeah, so notice right here.
When viewed from the poles, the isopotential lines form Tammy said, I shared a couple of these summer sessions of general chemical tours. There's some noticeable changes in the area of topic fusion. Interesting. Okay, so if you're looking from the top of a magnet right here, it's a concentric circles, so it's not changing. Concentric circles.
It's not changing if you were to spin it.
Faraday's paradox.
So if you look at Faraday's paradox, basically Faraday's paradox, it's looking at these flux lines. It looks at the lines, and they're saying, hey, when you rotate it, if the lines are moving, they should generate a current right here, if this is stationary. But that doesn't happen. This one you could spin this, and it's stationary. It won't do anything.
Paradox explained. Rotating magnet does not induce a voltage at the poles because the isopotentials don't change at the poles. Spinning the copper disc induces voltage because the isopotential lines or pressure gradients of the moving electric charges changes in space relative to the concentric isopotential lines of the spinning magnet.
It's basically a spinning magnet doesn't do anything. This one here, if you spin the copper disc relative to this one, that's when you're going to have the actual motion. You can get a current here if you were to spin the on the vertical axis, but not this one because the isopotential lines are not changing. Yeah.
Faraday's paradox can be visualized using a magnet and iron filings.
So here's the iron
Moving
filings.
the magnet moves the iron filings. However, rotating the magnet has no effect on the iron filings.
Yeah, so you spin it, it doesn't do anything. So again, it's literally because the isopotential lines aren't changing. And according to mainstream, they should be thrown around, but there's a paradox, etc. And now here's the atomic orbitals, a chance of where electron is. It's literally just matching up the isopotential lines of these shapes right here. Of different magnets. So you have this one is just one plus charge. If you put negative and plus, just to create a little magnet there.
Atomic orbitals are regions around an atom's nucleus where there is a high probability of finding an electron. The orbitals may have different energy levels and shapes, yet all of which match the isopotentials of corresponding configurations of magnets. Perhaps the magnetic isopotential lines should be called the magnetic field instead of the magnetic flux or flow lines.
Yeah, so basically what Fractal Woman argues, and I agree, is that this is the magnetic field. So whenever you think of a magnetic field, these are the lines you should be drawing, not the flux lines. So you draw the isopotential contours. The flux is basically how the iron filings line up, but they line up according to this. And again, these all match up these different shapes. You just put different charges, charge plus minus, and then you get the isopotential lines. And I think I have these in here. I think. Here's the pic to mag. I think I downloaded it. Pic to mag. To mag. Okay, I think I have it opened here. Let's see if it's opened. So here's the website. You can download that same setup here. Pic to mag mobile. And then that was mobile. Let's see, then you can download it right here. I think you had a Microsoft. Oh, he has a Microsoft 10 version. Okay, yeah, that's why I downloaded it. Let's see if I have it here. Field calculator. Let's see if it runs. Come on. Okay, there it is. It runs. And now you can go literally create drawing, and you can create north right here. Draw a a cube or disk. Let's go draw a cube. So you can draw one like this. We're gonna do the Stern-Gerlach one right here. See what happens. How the isopotential lines look like. So again, I'm just gonna draw this, and then there's the how does Stern-Gerlach look like? It looks like this. Okay, and it has it opened up like that, so it goes like this, south. And let's see what the shapes look like. All right. Anyways, I'm just doing it super extremely rough because I literally don't I don't care. Let's see. No, I'm saying it because it gets the point across. I just want to see what happens. And then what you could do is plot iso lines. I think that's, is that what it is? No, whoops, I accidentally have one over there. Why do I have one there? I'm gonna go back. Is there a back button? Okay, there's no back button. Plot compass needle. Oh, this, you have to calculate vector line. Okay, calculate vector field line. I think it's been a while. Okay, what do I do now? Okay, now it's calculated. Now plot. Where's the thingy? Where in the world's going on? 4 threads. Add. This is what it is. Export. Add. Add 2 vector fields together. Just do something. Oh, that's adding it together. Draw size. Process 3D. I don't know what's going on here. Yeah. Okay, create drawing. I'm gonna just do this right here. It's been a while since I did this. Draw cube. And okay, now just plot isopotential lines. Vector field. Okay, I don't know why it's not working. What in the world's going on here? Just plot the iso lines. How do I even do this? I'm gonna go. Okay. Oh, it says right here the percent there. Oh, that's why. Okay, there it is. Okay. I forgot that there's a number there. Okay, I'm gonna go create drawing. We can do this again. Live. We're gonna do some live. So I highly recommend using this app. I asked him to make a web app, but the guy's I think Michael Snyder. He is just busy with his own things. Okay, I'm gonna go like this. Okay, and then we need to calculate the vector field, and then wait. This is gonna be, yeah, and it takes a while because it's pretty. This one's pretty intense. Okay, and then we calculate vector field, and now we wait. I think this should be a percentage weighting or something. Okay, yeah, so there's 66%, and yeah, that's why. Okay, I was just rushing. Okay, so 66% done. Calculate vector field, and I'll keep it on the side again until it's done. 66 still. It's still loading. Okay, there it is. Yeah, and you get the idea, but there's going to be a bit better. There's going to be set up a bit better, and so that and it fires exactly in between. It's going to be literally fired right over here in the center. And it's going to go, something, yeah, this is just something like that. And these are the isopotential ones, but this is actually a straight line. I just made it roughly. This should be actually a perfect straight line. And it's literally, that's all it is. All it's doing is actually, yeah, creating a stronger, yeah, one of them is weaker versus the other one. And yeah, that's all it is. I think they do this so that it better moves across. But anyways, I know, before I get further into this, yeah, that's an awesome tool. Yeah, definitely recommend getting this one. This is an absolutely amazing tool. And you can do it in 3D, process 3D. And then but the 3D doesn't work actually. The 3D I couldn't work it. And also, if you know how to program and so on, and use ChatGPT or Grok AI, and get this online. I will even pay you if I have to. If you're a programmer, please get this online. I'll make a website domain for it. You just get the code. Let's go. Someone, please. Yeah, this is like extremely valuable, and I don't want it to be lost forever by like you have to download it and so on. Please, someone, please get the code, and yeah, make the code as a website. Make the code as a website, and then yeah, and I can host it. Like, just if you can get this online, and then I'll make a little thingy here, ms.fm/physics or whatever. I'll call it, or I'll just call it isopotential. So I will host it right here, isopotentials, unless I spelled it wrong, and I'll put it right here, and so on. Okay, yes, if you can get the code, or I could probably actually try to do it as well. But if you can do it, I'll make it like my ChatGPT calculators. calculators right here. Calculator. Where's the calculators? Yeah, so I made these ChatGPT calculators. So Earth curvature calculator, unit conversion one. This unit was pretty cool. So I made it like here. So anyways, if you can help me just get the code on it, somehow do it. I don't know how. Otherwise, I'll try to do it as well. And then get this online. This needs to be online where anyone can go in and use it without downloading and so on. And it's absolutely a must to have. And I think I explained how to do it. Yeah, I could probably remake. Yeah, if you could remake it, Drew, that'll be absolutely epic. You will be. Yeah. I'll definitely share it everywhere. And then I'll host it. You can also make a host as well. But I'll do it as well. Definitely, just so that it needs to be widespread. And I made a tutorial on how to use it. I think in this one. Oh no, that's a different one I made. But no, actually no, the tutorial's in the beginning. Yeah, because when I was going to the washroom, there's a tutorial on how to do it. This one I made it nicely. And again, these are the defining or the more governing magnetic field, not the flux lines. Flux lines are misleading. A lot of people get misled into and then you believe into quantum mumbo jumbo's happening. Anyways, and now going back to Stern-Gerlach. Gerlach experiment right here. So now we'll play. So again, this is all like theoretical looking. I'm gonna play. Let's see how the mainstream pop science says it. Stern-Gerlach experiment, and then let's see what. Look how they how they hype it up. So how Stern-Gerlach surprised physicists right here. And there's a 100-year anniversary. Oh, when was the day right here? 100 of the Stern-Gerlach experiment. I just want to see what day. Are we in the same day?
The Stern-Gerlach experiment, performed in
June 25th. Unreal. Okay, so it's like we're literally a week away. Okay, let's see what this guy say.
1922, delivered the first experimental proof of the fascinating degree of freedom of an electron spin.
Okay, so now they're talking about electron spin, and basically they're saying this experiment proves, and here's the theory on it, and then what I'll do is I'll show you the actual experiment they do. This was from 1967. The actual experiment with the analog one, so that you're actually literally looking at what they're actually doing, as opposed to this little theory.
A beam of silver atoms was generated in an atomic beam furnace. It was then sent towards an inhomogeneous magnetic field. According to classical physics...
Is this like made with AI or something? It's made with AI. No, I think it was made with... or different language. But anyways, these are the flux lines. So again, the flux lines are not governing. So it's like, what is the actual shape? Again, it should be... The shape should actually look like this right here. The isopotential should actually... But then I made it a bit off. It should be perfectly straight. So basically you're going to have a bulb and a bigger bulb. That's all it is. A bulb and bigger bulb. And then firing through. And let's see what happens.
Physics, one would expect the magnetic moments of silver atoms to be randomly oriented. They should be deflected in the inhomogeneous magnetic field by different amounts, depending on their orientation.
And that's because they're not looking at the isopotential lines. But if you look at the isopotential lines, they all exit. They exit either up or down. That's all it is. Up or down. It's not a spin up or a spin down electron. It's literally is it a magnet aiming on the north or down when it gets launched into it.
However, the researchers observed that the beam was split in two possible states, which were later named spin up and spin down.
Yeah. So that's a spin up and spin down.
How can this be explained? Let us first analyze the electron configuration of a silver atom. One silver atom has a total of 47 electrons. In 46 of these electrons, each spin up is paired with one spin down. The spins neutralize each other. There is only one unpaired spin, the spin of the 5s electron. It can be either in spin up or spin down, or in any superposition of these two states.
Okay, so that's what they call spin up.
We can represent
basically an unpaired electron.
This spin state using a Bloch sphere. The spin can point in any random direction. The spins of all silver atoms are randomly distributed. They are therefore not polarized. In fact, there is a close connection between this experiment with a single electron spin and the experiment with single polarized photons. Here, the the polarizing filter corresponds to the inhomogeneous magnetic field, just like with photons. In a single experiment, it is completely random whether the spin points in the direction of the polarizing filter or in the opposite direction. The result is a black and white random pattern. Let's have a closer look at the quantum mechanical measurement process in the Bloch sphere. The spin has some arbitrary orientation before it interacts with the inhomogeneous magnetic field. The inhomogeneous magnetic field acts as a filter. It is presented here as a slot. It forces the spin to take a random orientation, either in line with the inhomogeneous magnetic field or in the opposite direction. If the basis state is close to up, it is very unlikely to change the direction in down. However, it may still do so. When performing their canonical experiment, Stern and Gerlach were unable to use single silver atoms. Therefore, they could not demonstrate the role of chance in each experiment. However, they were the first to demonstrate that the spin is quantized, or separated in up and down. It was a sensational achievement in their time.
All right. Anyways, so that's Stern-Gerlach animation there. That's a pretty good one, but the language, different language. Anyways, but that's the theory. But if you actually look what they actually do, it's this was a 1967 experiment, and I highly recommend watching this one. And it actually shows you the actual like analog as opposed to just an animation of what they're trying to achieve. So what happens is they use a different setup like this. So they have the magnetic field with this setup here. Again, but it's such that the isopotentials it will still have a 0 point. Basically, what you're gonna have is one going down straight like this, and you're gonna have I think you're gonna have a stronger one here and a weaker one, or a bigger bulb or smaller bulb, something like that.
Pulling it toward the region of stronger field, it tends to fall into strong field. Whereas in the anti-parallel case, there's a repulsion on the side where the force is larger.
Anyways, it's just a magnet going like that, and so on. And if you only look at the flux lines, you just think it's just going to be all just a smooth transition because you're just passing through it. But it's actually the isopotential, which is one or the above. Anyways, so here's what happens here.
Reverse deflections.
So it just fires through the magnet.
Like to the poles, in a direction perpendicular to the field, like this. And observe their transverse deflections. Here's a schematic of the apparatus. Atoms emerge through a narrow slit in a small container, which we call an oven. A fraction of them get through a narrow collimating slit. As they pass through the magnet, their directions of motion are slightly changed by the magnetic forces. And at the other end of the apparatus, there's a small detector which can be moved transversely to explore the deflections caused by the magnet.
Okay, this one, and it moves up and down, and then it basically detects if there's a current there or not.
We also have a shutter in front of the oven that can block the whole beam before it enters the magnet. And between the magnet and the detector, we have an adjustable shutter. Of course, the apparatus must be in a good vacuum so that atoms can travel from source to detector with negligible risk of collision. Now let's look at the parts of the apparatus.
It's basically, it heats up liquid there. I mean, metal liquid.
These two round metal containers make up the oven.
And it's using cesium atoms instead of silver, in this case.
We put a cesium ampule into the back one. We break it there after it's in a vacuum because cesium is so active chemically, much more active than its near brother sodium, with which you're more familiar. We warm the oven, you can see the heating coils, to vaporize the cesium, which fills both containers. Some of the cesium atoms escape through this 10th millimeter slit. Directly in front of the oven slit is this shutter, which can be moved from the outside of the apparatus by hand with a small bar magnet. And now from there, the beam goes through the collimating slit, the jaws of which are made of stainless steel razor blades. The two other blades fix the height of the beam, The width of this collimating slit can be set from the outside with a control. The transverse position can also be set from a control so that we can aim the ribbon-like beam of atoms directly down the magnet gap. Here's the magnet. The shaped pole pieces are made of wafers of soft iron stacked and bolted together.
Yeah, and
The pole pieces are quite long.
basically they have a long magnet there to a longer point. It's more magnetism to deflect it.
Compared to the gap.
But watching this video, this is actually pretty amazing. Like, they're literally showing you the inside parts of what's actually happening.
The pole pieces slip into a piece of glass tubing that carries the vacuum, and the whole thing fits into the magnet so we can have the return yoke.
And the magnet is, they have it a coil right there. So basically a coil there. I think that's what it, yeah, they increased the magnetic field in there. I think these were just iron there, but not the actual magnet there.
The pole pieces are quite long compared to the gap.
Yeah, I think that's just an iron bar.
The pole pieces slip into a piece of glass tubing that carries the vacuum, and the whole thing fits into the magnet so we can have the return yoke.
Yeah, and it's using electromagnet. Okay, and then to induce
magnetizing coils outside the vacuum system. These rather large, coarse jaws can intercept the...
And then Drew says, yeah, I'll see what I can do. When you go to my papers, we should start with this. Yeah, definitely. If I don't have time today, I think next week we can make a full video on your thing. I'm just trying to say, what should we call... I'll go to this right here. I think we had the... I'm going to go to unified field theory. Unified... field theory right here. Actually, yeah, I wanted to go do this thingy. I wanted to do something. This was the link to your OneDrive. Where's the OneDrive? Okay, this is the Google Drive. So what I'm gonna do now is to make it. I'm gonna actually bookmark this one here. I think I had like this. I'm gonna copy this. Okay, so yeah, in case we don't have time, I'm gonna I'm gonna paste this basically so we can work on the same thing. I'm gonna pin this to our chat, so we always have this. So I just pin it there. Up to you if you want to pin as well. And then I'll go over it later, just because I want to finish this one here. If we don't have time, we'll go a full one next week. And basically, we can call one. I'm trying to think what could be the question. For the you know how I say what is the Stern-Gerlach experiment? I could say what is Drew's or just say what is a unified resonance field or unified field theory, which was the I just want to go for next week if I don't have time, because I'm on a little sleep right now. UFE step by step. Where is the one step by step? This one here. Solution here. Unified field conscious equation. Okay, so then this one here, gold, and so on. What is the unified field consciousness, or what do you call your thingy here? I'm just gonna go to quickly here, Substack. I think you had the link there. Where's the actual thingy? The time delay. Okay, unifying gravity. So basically, like, I think we should call it something. Coherence field dynamics. Just so, yeah, what is general coherence field framework? What is the consciousness field? Consciousness. Okay, so basically what I want to say is give me a good title. I think call it something. Yeah, so UAPs are cold on thermal usually. Interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna go right here. I'll make it for the next one. Go back. Yeah, super cold. I'm gonna click A plus. Yeah, so for next week, just because it's gonna be pretty intense. We only have 24 minutes left, but I'll read some of it now. But for next week, I'll make one. 26. This is unified, or just say consciousness field. Coherence field. Or just consciousness field. What? Yeah, consciousness field. Okay. So I need to find Drew on Substack and catch up on his work. Yeah, definitely. And again, it's pretty next level. So you'll have to teach me as well. Anyways, so I'm gonna call this consciousness field. If you have a good title for your work, Drew, if you're still here or you're back to work, Truscott unified field equation. Okay, what is a Truscott unified field equation? Okay, yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good. I'll just call the unified field. Yeah, that's a good one. General. What did I call the other ones before? I'm gonna go to the math QA streams. What is the other one? Unified field. Oh, grand unified field theory. Yeah, what is a grand unified field theory? Yeah, Truscott unified field. Okay, so we'll call that Truscott unified field. So next week we'll just power through it, and then you can help walk it through. Unified field. Okay, so I'll just call that. Yeah, so Truscott unified fields. We'll call that for next week. If we have time, we'll get it. I mean, whatever works best. Yeah, I just want something. We can either use your name or just call it consciousness. I want to include the consciousness part. I'll just call it consciousness because the thing is, what you have you seen the Boogosphere? I heard about that. I heard it's probably a hoax. Yeah. So the Boogosphere, I'm gonna actually do a deep dive on that next Saturday. So this is on the 12th. Okay, Boogosphere. I think it might have been a psyop. July 12th stream. Yeah. So someone was sending me on X to send it. Very interesting. It's not a hoax. Well, you have Richard Greer there. So Greer. Booga. Okay, so if you have Greer and Booga, and I think it's a hoax. It looks like a men disguised as police have attempted to steal Boogosphere. What is this guy doing here? So basically, if this guy's there, something's up. So it's obviously a psyop. Even if it's real, it's a psyop. If that guy's there. Okay, the Dr. Stephen Greer just dropped a bomb. The Boogosphere is likely extraterrestrial. All right. He's pushed for carbon dating and isotope. These spheres, the spheres can be real. I'm saying this Boogosphere, this one right here, it's probably fake. I haven't looked at it. Anyways, I'm just saying I haven't looked at it. I'm giving you my biased, my first impression from, just first impressions. And again, when you have this guy pushing it nonstop, just because you don't believe it doesn't mean make it not real. We're not arguing. Just because you believe it's real, doesn't mean it's real. I'm just saying. I'll deep dive July 12th. So if it's real, I'll find out on July 12th that it's real. July 12th, we will dive deep into Boogosphere. Okay, again, keep that in mind. Okay, don't take it personally. If I'm just saying I think it's fake because this guy's there. This guy. There's a high voltage line and glitch. Yeah, but this guy's there, okay? Or he's doing damage control. So because you have Greer, billionaire. Let's say billion. Let's see. Why Stephen Greer always gotta be lying about being offered $2 billion to not pursue gaslight public on UFOs? Okay.
General Albert Stubblebine III, Bert, who had been head of special forces and Army intelligence, he intercepted me after we had this major contact event out in Florida and near Pensacola. And he subsequently, about a month later, personally offered me $2 billion to not pursue what I was doing and become part of his team.
All right. Yes, Sean Ryan again. Sean Ryan, all disinfo agents, and so on. Again, these things have ran into airplanes. I know, not these things. Similar, like this thing. It could be. This one's probably fake, but like, yeah, you could say different spheres went in. The sphere reminds me of a video from a circus. motorcycle in the glow post and upload. I need to make glow post and upload. I need to make Hive. Yeah, definitely. I'll always post on Hive, guys. Hive is where it's at. I'll take the 2 bill for my schematics. Yeah. All right. So you have these guys posting these spheres. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is, it looks like it was manually drilled or something. Anyways, I'm just giving you my first impression on this. But obviously, sphere orbs and so on are real, just by like obviousness. But this, this guy should not be anywhere near it. All right. So anyways, deep dive. I'll deep dive on next Saturday. If it's real, we'll find out. The embedded fiber optics in a sphere. Okay, we'll go over that. Anyways, 2 billion. All right. If you give me $2, $2 billion. My goodness. Okay, so $2 billion, he'll say no. But if you tell him look at 9/11, he's like, I don't want to talk about it. Greer 9/11, he literally says it's a grand conspiracy theory. Doesn't want to talk about it, and so on. Someone asked him, and then he literally flips out and doesn't. Man, this is quite serious. Eric Red, yeah. Anyways, understand my view on things. Okay, I literally, first of all, to me it looks like a scam. Richard Greer is there. So Greer, be skeptical of Greer, always. Even if he's right, something's up. Okay, he's probably, but it's obviously the Project Bluebeam moment jump. Anyways, we have self-evident truth is always ridiculed as one changes. Yeah, Greer should be ridiculed always, forever. Okay. All right, and Eric Red, if you're gonna if you're gonna promote Greer, and we will look at it. Obviously, its stage is not changes. It's one of its stages. Yeah, definitely. But I'm saying it looks like a scam. Okay, but I'll look into it on July, and we'll on July 12th. Anyways, I'll say this one last time. Enough of the Boogosphere. July 12th, we'll dive in. And then if it's real, we'll find out it's real. You'll be there. You'll give me the questions. Greer has a good heart in this. Oh, okay. Greer's a liar. Oh, okay. Anyways, Greer is a Freemason. Okay, Greer is also Baha'i. Baha'i. Greer is not a normal person. He's literally with Clinton. Greer hangs out with like Hillary and Clinton and so on. Greer. Okay, this one here. What was Greer? Yes, Stephen Greer was literally. He was married at the Baha'i in Israel. He was married at the Baha'i Center, like the Baha'i. That's like a one world government religion. It's like, what is going on here? And she's in a Peace Corps in Barbados and so on. So Greer, I think he also like did some CIA stuff. He also talked to CIA or something. What is here? Also they had Stephen Greer was literally with Ashton Forbes reverse engineering extraterrestrial technology with Dr. Stephen Greer on the reptilian Zuckerberg Biden Bartcoin, and it says we will be talking with Stephen Greer on December 16th. Okay, damn, this is a hit. One of my close contacts likes Greer. I'd hate to break the news to her. Yeah, and also Greer hosts like alien meetup spotting and so on. Greer briefs the CIA. Yeah, Greer. Greer, just watch. Okay, since we have 16 minutes left, we're all talking about Greer. I'll play this and I'll go back to the Stern-Gerlach one. For my own sake, I'm trying to understand fully. This is Stern-Gerlach. This is the Greer 9/11. This is Greer 9/11. 9/11. Okay. And he also has a full security team and so on. So on November 21st, 2015, ufologist and disinformation Stephen Greer was asked about the evidence of directed energy weapons on 9/11. His response was convoluted and incoherent as he literally blabbed for nearly 3 minutes instead of answering the question. Note also the duping delight at the 8-minute mark when Greer says World Trade Center complex.
Yes, sir.
There's compelling evidence that not just the towers, but the entire World Trade Center complex.
All right. Yeah, no. Right when he says WTC, he smiled.
Trade Center complex.
All right, there it is. Assuming he's disinformation agent, that's a duping delight, and he obviously is a disinformation agent. Anyway. And also how jacked he is. Like, why do these guys all so jacked? He's doing UFOs, meeting aliens, all while going to the gym and getting jacked. All right, let's go.
By perhaps a directed energy type of weapon, something that operator technology with molecular dissociation. That seems to be very much related to what we're talking about. Have you looked at that?
I have looked at it. You know, I have bigger fish to fry. 9/11 was terrible.
Okay, he has bigger fish to fry. The first thing he says when the guy says, "Hey, have you looked at 9/11 directed energy weapons?" And he says, "I have bigger fish to fry." Then literally government murdering its own people with like technology like irrefutably demonstrated, more advanced than anything he's ever talked about. or as basically it's as advanced as he's talking about UFOs and so on. But again, this one's actually more advanced. You're literally turning a tower into dust.
We lost 3,000 people. It led to 2 huge wars and trillions of dollars.
And even the mainstream standard, nothing is bigger than that. They wasted all the trillions of dollars and killing a whole bunch of people, displacing millions and so on in the Middle East, and 3,000 in the U.S. And then you get the soldiers all killed and everything. And he's got bigger fish to fry. And now he's thinking for like an hour.
I will tell you this.
Anyways, should we play some
I'm
more?
not going to get into specifics. I mentioned a gentleman named Richard Foch, the third highest guy, Richard Foch.
They're also speculating that he's got ties to Mossad. Well, yeah, he was married in Israel, in the Baha'i. The Baha'is like an NWO religion. He says hijackers did it. He's an agent. Yeah, he's pretty much saying hijackers did
At
it.
the Naval Research Labs. He was in meetings.
So Eric read right here. He's saying Greer has a good heart. He literally says, and again, he's ignoring the directed energy weapon stuff.
With the then Vice President of the United States, Cheney. And he said absolutely it was known about in advance and there was involvement at that level. And he told me, and I have witnesses, multiple witnesses to this, that if he were to speak of this, now he's passed away, that he, his wife, his children, and his grandchildren would all be killed.
Okay, so he says you know someone in the government that knew this months ago that this was going to happen, but he wasn't supposed to talk about it. But notice what his theory is on this, or his theory.
That's all I'm going to say on the 9/11 issue. But there is a lot to that story. I've never shared publicly what I just said, but the man has passed away. So it's not hard to, and I think most people get into these grand conspiracy theories. Basically, all you have to do is stand down. There's constant threat. There is terror.
So he's literally saying he has to stand down. If he touches energy weapons, he has to admit NH are part of it. Greer professes NH are good non-human intelligence. This guy's a non-human intelligence. He's probably a robot. All right, let's go here.
Terrorism out there.
So he's saying that there's terrorism and that all they did was do a stand down. He said that high officials knew that the Osama bin Laden. And basically, what he's alluding to is that they knew someone was attacking the towers, and then they just told everyone stand down, don't protect the airways. That's pretty much what he's alluding to.
And you don't even have to hoax an event in that case. You just have to stand down the systems that would have intercepted it. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like when you're doing a code blue, boom, clear. You say clear before you do the electric shock. So you just clear the system, let it come in and hit. Now, what I think happened on 9/11 is more like what I just described.
Yeah. So again, he's saying Osama bin Laden hijackers, but there's a stand down.
And I have very good reason to believe that, because someone of that integrity and rank had a front row seat and knew about it. And I've never spoken of this before right now, but I think that it's disturbing, it's enraging, but it's a minor rounding error compared to what's coming if we don't end this cartel's hegemony on the secrecy related to UFOs, ETs, what have you. 9/11 is going to be a very minor blip on the screen. So that's my warning to people. You can take it or not. But I've known what you just asked about since it happened. My whole security team lit up like you wouldn't believe.
Okay, so his whole security team, yeah, we stood down when NH seen on radar. Like, anyways, Eric, I think you're NHI. I think you're an AI agent or something. Integrity, yeah. So, anyways, so he says that we need to get the secrecy out. Yet does not answer the guy's questions. He's saying, "Hey, what do you think about the directed energy weapon hypothesis on the Tower Stern Dust molecular dissociation. He's like, anyways, I think it was a stand down. I'm like, answer the question. like what are you? Anyways, he's an agent, okay? I literally he is not a good guy. He's compromised. He's an agent. He is meeting with Clinton. He's meeting with Clinton for some reason. Let's say Greer, Clinton. Okay, I want to go back to this one, and then I'm gonna go back into the Stern-Gerlach again. Like I'm trying to tell y'all, I'm on low sleep right now. Yeah. I'll see if I can show some photos of yesterday. A minor blimp on the screen. Yeah. That's the one thing that I think he was right about. That it was a minor blimp, and that's again, the COVID scam. Now you got him. New York Forts has to stand on if you think about it. Anyways, Eric, stop defending him. The guy's a clown. Stand down, Eric. So you can basically what I'm trying to say is the guy is literally just lying to our face, and he's saying that Osama bin Laden there's terrorism threats and so on from Osama bin Laden. That's what he's alluding to. It says grand conspiracy theories. Okay, I'm gonna roll that up. Okay, so anyways, I'll go back to Stern-Gerlach, and then I'll read Drew's messages, and then we'll go back, and then I'll save this for the next one. Do that from beginning, because again, the Stern-Gerlach one. Go back to Stern-Gerlach. Sweet. Here's Stern-Gerlach again. Basically, they heat up some liquid metal. It fires off some electrons or some atoms that are that behave like magnets, and then through a magnetic field that's charged. That basically it's a magnetic field with coils. A story came out that the operative was tracking down the Potomac object at the hidden Pentagon. Stories Janie admitted. Stand down. Yeah, but again, I think that the story is just pushing fakes stand down. Stand down in terms of shooting the actual quote fake plane. Again, they're both pushing the same psyop script. And then the thing is, unless that was an actual UFO, then and they were telling the truth, so that they were told to stand down. So that could be another later, but it looks like they're just used as the fake conspiracy. I mean the fake missile shooting down. That they could have done that or something, or they did do that or something. Anyways, let's continue further.
The beam after it leaves the magnet, but we'll come back to them later. The detector is a 10th millimeter niobium wire. When hot, this wire converts any neutral cesium atoms that strike it into positive cesium ions. The ions are collected by this small negatively charged plate.
Okay, so there's a plate. There's basically, it strikes this, it gets heated, it goes over, and then positive on one of the ends there.
The current in the plate circuit, which is our measure of beam intensity, is amplified and recorded on the y-axis of this XY plotter. The x-coordinate indicates the transverse position of the detector, which is moved by pushing on it. The push rod can be moved from outside through these bellows worked by a knob. The whole detector assembly is covered with a wire screening to ensure that the sensitive circuit really measures the beam and doesn't act as a burglar alarm. Here's the apparatus ready to run. Now, we really made the second half of this film before the first. This means that we don't have to wait around for the vacuum pumps to work, to find and fix all the leaks in the vacuum system, to work out other bugs that always beset every experiment. So here goes. The oven is already warm. The magnet power is off. The detector wire is hot. Now we open the shutter and move the detector across the beam. The pan deflects.
Okay, this is without the magnetized coils yet. So basically, Basically,
Then it levels off.
it just measures the I think the current or whatever that's on that gets struck on that plate. But also notice how it's like notice this analog thing. They literally have like ink there and it moves.
The detector current at the
Yeah. Drew, you got it right. If Eric is, Eric needs to grasp that. Yeah, Greer's deflecting proof of what happened on 9/11. That's like the biggest one. Who's making those? What do you mean, making those? Yeah, but again, stop changing the subject, or else you put in a timeout. Like, what's it called? Richard Greer is literally, even if you're right, Eric, that there's a NHI and doing all this bad stuff. Richard Greer is literally part of that cover-up. He's literally part of making them do all this, if aliens are real, by covering up 9/11. So it's like the biggest thing he could have done is literally tell, yeah, directed energy weapons, yeah, they're real. He could say, oh, it's done by aliens. But he could at least admit that, and also explain why was he married in a Baha'i center in Israel. And meeting with Clinton. Let's see, Greer, Clinton. I think he met with Clinton. Missile is a topic of what hit Pentagon? No, it's not. He's saying it's not a missile. And he just wrote, why read that article? Correspondence. Stephen Greer. So this is on Clinton right here. Corresponds with Greer. Meetings, phone calls, records of correspondence, meetings or phone calls between President Clinton and Dr. Stephen Greer. 5 folders, approximately 45 pages. All right, we got some NHI. He's talking to the NHI like the reptilian queen. This is 45 pages. Okay, we'll see what's up with here. And this was a while ago. Okay, and this is very, very, very interesting. So he probably, again, it's all part of the Project Bluebeam setup here, right here. Greer defends NHI. Well, Greer is covering up 9/11. Okay, so if NHI are real, he's defending them, or he's yeah. So anyways, this is the Clinton one. That's a very interesting one. Also, if you look at Clinton aliens, so in the 1990s. Hillary Clinton partnered with Lawrence Rockefeller to push the government to disclose documents on UFO and alien disclosure. So you got literally Hillary Clinton with the Rockefeller Initiative. This is right here. Clinton in 1993, 1996, document that's obtained from the Office of Science and Technology Policy and Clinton Presidential Library via Freedom of Information Act, confirming and contemporary with a highly important and little publicized effort by Lawrence Rockefeller to convince President Bill Clinton to release all the. This is literally Lawrence Rockefeller was trying to convince Bill Clinton to release all the government-held documents relating to the UFO phenomenon, end the truth embargo, and effectively be the disclosure president. This was Lawrence Rockefeller, okay? So what? And now this was at the conference or whatever. There's Lawrence Rockefeller, I believe that's him. And then she's talking to Hillary Clinton. So okay, and if you zoom into what she's reading. This book was Are We Alone? This book right here, that's the back of the, that's literally the book Are We Alone? Philosophical Inspirations of the Discovery. Okay, I'm going to copy this. This is way too, Paul Davies. Okay, I'm going to go, this is way too small. So here's some pro tip, enhancing quality. I'm going to keep going in this stream because I was going to work out, but I'm a bit too tired to do a full workout. So I'll keep going until, I want to finish the Stern-Gerlach one at all costs. I'm going to go with Tin Eye. If you think Blue Beam is a psyop to fake NHI, it may make you think the NHI. Anyways, Eric, you're on a losing streak right now. Just admit Greer's a lying psychopath, and then come back after that. And also the Boogosphere, you should question it. Why he's promoting it? Okay, this is a good image. See how big this one is. Yeah, this is the book. And there's the one he has it. Okay, that's a good image. Paul Davies, Are We Alone? There's got to be a bigger image. Everything's so tiny. I need to find that image. Google. So anyways, basically what I'm saying to say is we go 1 point at a time. Okay, if NHI are real, just get the first part. What if he met NHI? Okay, and he's a lying psychopath. That's no reason. So he's a coward. he's scared of aliens. That's why he's lying to everybody. Okay, so it's like give me something. I got something to work with. He's scared of aliens, so he's okay with genocide occurring because of cover up with 9/11, and literally he's okay with murder and so on for whatever Freemasonic or Baha'i stuff he's dealing with. So it's like stop defending Greer. Okay, there's the good one. There's the good one. Are we alone? And notice the eye there. Notice the all-seeing eye there. Unbelievable. They literally got the Freemasonic set up there. You cannot make this stuff up. All right, I'm gonna save that. Okay, there it is. I made it HD. Okay, this HD. So we got Rockefeller wants to release wants to save humanity by telling aliens exist. All right, let's go. We got Rockefeller. And also there's Rockefeller meeting Bill Clinton. And let's go. Like he's talking to her. It's like, all right, let's get the aliens on board. Devil's. What if he met NHI? Anyways, yeah. So he's devil's advocate. So it's like, what do you guys want from me? Like, yeah, you have to realize, I'm a mathematician. Like, so basically, I need something to go along with. Okay. I'm gonna go back to the Stern-Gerlach, and then I'll read Drew's stuff after. So what happens is this line goes up like this.
Peak is about 10 to the minus 11 amperes and corresponds to about 10 to the 8th atoms per second hitting the detector wire.
Okay, so we have just a line saying that the current is higher here in the center without the magnetized coils.
There's the beam. One large division on the x-axis is equivalent to a detector movement of 1.3 millimeters, so the beam's about 2.7 millimeters wide. If we go back to the center of the beam, we can insert the shutter and cut the beam off. On.
There.
Off.
Anyways, Eric, just calm down on the messages. It's all you, and it's all just me saying, stop clowning. It says read numbers and so on. Yeah, but first admit the guy's a liar and that he's talking about 9/11 and go message him as well. Should put in some work, Eric. Go to Richard Greer and literally message him and say, hey, talk about 9/11, all right? Because people aren't believing my NHI nonsense. Anyways, just calm down. I'll just putting the time out. Just don't overload the chat. It's all just you and so on. We're here. We're talking about Stern-Gerlach. Get back on this. I want to try to grasp it and then end the stream.
Off. On. Now, just to show that we know what we're doing, we'll narrow the collimating slit. This, of course, should make the beam narrower.
I guess it just makes it narrow, and then it gets narrow. Right now, the magnet hasn't been turned on, so use a magnetizing coil. All right, 9/11 revisionist. I think he put you in muted you. All right, yeah, just go easy, Eric. Like, we have to realize if you want us not to suspect you're a agent, once you reveal that Greer, like if someone shows you that he covers up 9/11, you have to be like, yeah, that's pretty bad. I should go and message him. Then we'll be like, hey, okay, maybe it's not an agent. But if you double down on NHI stuff after we showed you Richard Greer is a liar, but like. That was the main issue is NHI, if they're real or if aliens are real or not, Richard Greer is not a good guy.
There it is. Now we'll begin the main measurements, leaving the beam narrow.
Okay, so now they have a narrow...
First, a clean trace of the beam with a magnet current still off.
Yeah, so magnet current is off, and it's an electromagnet. It's just not just a permanent magnet, as his drawings always show. The drawings are always wrong. Yeah, that's true. Stern-Gerlach. This one's wrong. Like I hate when they do stuff like this. Like this is not what is shown. This is just typically I'm assuming just an iron bar, and then they have a coil around that magnetizes it. All right. So it's like just get it correct. So this guy's okay. Anyways, this guy's going back here. Stern-Gerlach right here. Okay, this is the current off, and then somehow this
turn down the gain of the detector.
And somehow this proves, according to them, spin up and spin down quantum mechanics and all. But it's like it's just a tiny magnet and a big magnet. That's I'm pretty sure what it is.
A little bit, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah. Are they?
Next, we move the detector back to the middle of the beam and get ready to turn some current on in the magnet. The field intensity with one cell of this battery will be about 2,500 Gauss, and the gradient, which you remember is the important quantity, is about 3,300 Gauss per centimeter. The beam intensity in the middle falls. It's a little less than half its former value. Those atoms must have gone somewhere, so let's explore the beam again.
Yeah, and notice this shows that Wikipedia and others never talk about. If you put a low magnetic field, it just shows a normal curve, but like less than the peak there. This is using a low magnetic field strength. It goes like this. It doesn't split into two. So it's not strong enough to make them go either direction too much.
The beam has been broadened, symmetrically you notice, showing that cesium atoms are in fact magnetic and are deflected in either direction by the magnetic forces.
Yeah, so basically if you have a weak magnetic field, it shows you it does deflect, but it deflects according to how they were initially thinking, because the field isn't that strong. So in other words, the speed of the actual magnet going through is, and the momentum is stronger than the actual magnetic field to get it one or the other.
But let's see what happens when we increase the magnet current some more. Two cells give us about 5,000 Gauss and a gradient of about 6,600 Gauss per centimeter. The pen begins to deflect sooner. But then right in the middle, where most of the atoms were before, there are now very few, and the rest come over here. The atoms have been deflected equally to both sides. As they pass through the magnet, half of them were forced in the direction of stronger magnetic field, and the other half were forced toward weaker field. Let's increase again to about 10,000 Gauss per centimeter.
Okay, and anyways, and then there's the drawing they have here, strong versus weak.
However large the field gradient and sharp.
Basically, yeah, you have weak field, strong field. Yeah, and basically, again, going back to this animation, basically that is what they had. They had the what they called north and south. It was just basically weak field, strong field, and so on. And yeah, but this would actually be flat line. I just didn't make it properly. We're gonna, I'll do that later. But this should be higher up, and I think, or this should be closer up. This should be a flat line there. So again, it just goes through the block wall, or like a halfway point, or the node point, and it just deflects according to the actual setup there. Anyways, and keep watching this for later. And then the mainstream says it has a spin up and spin down. Let's see what these say right here. Let's see.
And the distance between the two peaks is 3.7 millimeters.
Anyways, that was just describing it. But anyways, I'll go back to the fractal woman, and then I'll add this video. So I'm gonna end the stream soon. I'll read Drew's messages, and again next week we'll dedicate that fully. So that's the thing here at MES. If you get 9/11 right, and you're putting in work to advance the scientific, technological, or any kind of advancement, as long as you get 9/11 right, I will promote you. Okay, anyways, so that's that one. I want to go back to this fractal woman now. Quickly. Whoops, what is going on here? What am I clicking? Just fractal woman. Okay, so we go here, and then she made one recently about the Stern-Gerlach. Yeah, this one right here. I think Stern-Gerlach revisited. Yeah.
So today.
And then she revisits this one. I highly recommend watching this. And I think, yeah, and she made the diagrams a bit better. Yeah, so she made them like this, and you can see they're much better set up. And she also goes through the orbitals and so on, the isopotential lines. It's literally, yeah, it's literally goes up or down. Yeah, and then go back here. So basically, if you have the magnets like this, the bar magnets, it goes up or down, depending on which orientation it was closer to. And notice how before you had to make this super strong to be able to throw them over there. If you didn't have it strong enough, it would just be more of a bell curve. So again, no need for spin up or spin down. Here's the
reasons I think There's gravity, which is force.
And again, she shows over here some other...
And there's the friction.
There's just the motion around the isopotential lines. And again, Stern-Gerlach, no need for spin up and spin down. According to... It's just a small magnet with a big magnet. And then she shows right here.
The large dipole moment. And let's say it's aligned like this as it's coming out of the device that shoots the silver atoms, that heats up silver atoms, and they're moving in this direction. Okay, so as as it gets closer to the big magnet, it is going to start to align. Okay, as it goes exactly between, while it is going exactly between the two magnets, it is going to be exactly aligned. If it's going exactly between, it's going to be exactly aligned. But at some point, if it's even a tiny bit above the dielectric inertial plane, it is going to start to curve. Okay, it's going to start to curve. Maybe it gets caught up in this line. Now there's all lines in between. I'm only showing you the lines that depict the gradient, the 1 volt, 2 volt, 3 volt, whatever. But you can see, let's say there's a wall over here, so you can see if it gets caught up into this isopotential curve, it's going to, and it always has to be orthogonal to this curved line, okay? So you can see that it is going to go in this direction and potentially hit a wall or hit a detector over here. But if it gets caught up into if it's a little bit below the inertial plane, then it's going to potentially get caught up into this isopotential.
All right, anyways, yeah, you get the idea, and so on. And I think she talking about something else, and so on. Yeah. So, anyways, so that is that, and also I think that she made it. It also looks like basically here's the isopotentials, and then if you have the wall there, here's roughly where they're gonna go. It's not the center, so not the center. But if you had a weak field, think of the weak field as just like moving the detector closer to here, and it'll just be in a bell curve in the center. But anyways, so that's that part. I'm gonna send this one as well. This is definitely worth for future. Again, highly recommend watch that. And also another one because Distinti. What is Distinti? Okay, this one here. This guy here, Distinti. He also, this is where I got that Stern-Gerlach idea, the actual Stern-Gerlach experiment, like the analog one. Okay, this one right here, Stern-Gerlach experiment announcement. Okay, I think he was doing an announcement, an experiment on that.
Hi, my fine Patreon folks. This is an experiment.
Yeah, and this is where I saw this one right here. This was just, I think he was replicating the Stern-Gerlach one announcement. It would be simulating with his software. So anyways, that was the software. And he put a link to that one, and I saw that one. I'm going to go to the ethereal mechanics now. Here's ethereal mechanics on YouTube, his other one. Stern-Gerlach. I think he had something on there. It's probably somewhere, or for his Patreon members or so on. It could be anyways, so that's that part. I'm going to read Drew's your questions and so on when you message me. Let's see, the STEM stuff right here. Again, yeah, epic stuff. This was, I figured out how to present some of my schematics. Yeah, this was the one about the dynamo with the Atwood machine. Yeah, I'm still waiting for the epoxy glue. It should be arriving soon. Yeah, or in a week. I think it was like 7th to 11th or something. Anyways, a few days or soon, I will see. Anyways, thank you, Colin. I'll have to figure out how to present some of these schematics while protecting my IP into intellectual property. Granted, I do have timestamps on everything. I have a couple of dead man switches set up just in case. Yeah, again, protecting your intellectual property. It's up to you. The best way to protect it is just put your name everywhere. Like MES right now. Like I don't like patents or anything. I just put my name everywhere. So if someone wants to say, hey, I want to take over MES, well, it's like, okay, but it's like, it's all about math 9/11. Me. So it's like, you can't take me over. So first of all, they wouldn't want to do it. And then in a court, they'll be like, yeah, and in a court, it would just be like, well, this guy's you're literally trying to take over his name that's he's established for years. So it's like, don't worry. Anyways, I'll definitely think of something to ask on each stream. Their future on. I did send Nancy the design I sent you yesterday. I asked John what he thinks. Usually she's pretty experienced with getting back to me, so I'm excited for that. But you'll see, I mean, for sure in some capacity during the streams. Yeah, so John will be there. And anyways, go easy on Gene Manning when I bring up Ashton Forbes. I'm very hesitant to like. Well, I don't know. I have to talk about it. I'm like just heads up. Ashton Forbes is a lying like the civil agent, regardless of what Bob Greener thinks of him. So anyways, so he's and I think a big thing he does is basically take alt media, alt science, and then even a lot of stuff he is saying is probably right, but mix it in with the complete clown show that is the MH70 cartoons. Anyways, so this was the dynamo that he made. I still don't like. I hate how it covers up this thing. This thing shows up. Anyways, it's pretty fine. Okay, at the bottom is a battery. You can see you have a battery, and this was a schematic Drew made. So you have magnetic electric forces are in purple, and this is the in repulsion. If you have magnets in repulsion stuck at the bottom, there's a tube there so they don't fly around. If you drop a south here, actually, first of all, it's going to be closes clutch, opens clutch. Okay, here's a dynamo. This just generates electricity. It just spins a rotor or something. Reed switch. Okay, is that the turns on and off? Yeah, I'm not sure. Because again, you have to realize I'm not an electrician. I am a guy who learns online stuff. Okay, there's pulleys. And so this drops down, and then as it gets closer here, Tammy says I guess I dissed Nancy unintentionally in my emails. Interesting. Well, Nancy is Nancy. Okay, anyway, opens clutch, reed switch. It basically goes up and down, and as this motion goes through, that's where it's generating the. Actually, this is the clutch. So what was the clutch? The thing is, what's the generating the current? Is it the magnets themselves? But this is going up and down. Oh no, this is spinning this. Okay, so this goes up. This spins this thing here, and this basically goes down. It's cut off at top, and this goes up. This goes up, and so on. There should be another one on top. I thought maybe it's on Substack. I think it's on Substack. Let's see. Something like this. There's a dynamo. Oh, yeah, but basically, you have a battery there. The battery goes all the way across. No, I think you had it right. But anyways, so the whole idea is that this goes in, it goes up. But I think eventually they will balance out of each other. The description tells how it is. Yeah, so it occurs to me where I've seen this, where I have this problem where I just assume everyone sees what I see when I look at something. The first schematic to my father, I was like, oh, wait. And he's like, wait, what the F? And so many words. Okay, so purple shows magnetic electrical forces. No spring necessary. The top magnets are connected to a string. Oh, so there's a string there. Bottom magnets are fixed in place. As the magnets on the top one side falls, it is repelled by its similar oriented polarized. Why is it just not straight to it? Okay. Like this. Similarly oriented polarized magnet, so S falls into S, is repelled, push the magnet, so it rises back up through the tube, causing the other side to fall. So it's oscillating like a teeter-totter. As the string oscillates, it winds a dynamo, so they're going to have some losses there, but if it winds it slows things down, which is connected to and charges a battery. This would require a one-way slip switch so that it doesn't unwind. Okay, yeah, if that's the switch. Okay, then basically you reverse it, so then the next one's going to wind at the basically always winding the same way. We'll pass the opposite direction because dynamo winding will offer resistance. One side will need to be slightly heavier depending on the resistance given through the clutch, which is connected to the dynamo. The slip clutch can be open and closed using a reed switch. Reed switches are activated by magnetic forces on both tubes, and preferably at the top. So as the magnet passes by a certain point, it activates the reed switch, opening the clutch. When it oscillates back, and the magnet on the other side reaches the others, the reed switch on the other side will close the clutch and grip the string, allowing the string to wind the dynamo. Interesting, that's a bit more technical, right? So, reed switch on the left would open the clutch, okay. Left would open the clutch. Reed switch on the right would close. Okay, so open and close. It goes up. Basically spinning this, going back and forth by spinning it in one direction. And you can charge a battery and so on. So, but what I think is happens is there's gonna be a lot of losses though. Like I think eventually it's gonna balance out. But if you have one heavier than the other one, because you still need to be able to push it over. So, but even if it balances out, if you can get usable electricity, even if it's like a 90%, if you get a high efficiency rate, that'd be pretty interesting. This is pretty interesting. Again, if I think in the future, when I get like, my goal is to get like be able to fund just a full-time technician to do this. I'm like, here, do this. Here's another project. Do this and see what happens. Because it's very hard to do that and at the same time researching and also trying to make ends meet. All right. Okay, let's go. Another one says, out of curiosity, you asked, would you happen to have a FLIR or a SEEK device? No, I don't have that. DIY thermal imaging overlay on one of my optics, and I have most of the hardware necessary already. I just need the thermal module. I could buy one from Amazon and rip it apart, but I figured I'd ask first to see. Yeah, no, I don't have thermal stuff there. I think you could use it with your phone. Also need some advice. You want me to read this? I've been invited to a call with Lockheed Martin with one of the physicists there. I don't have all the info just yet, but I'm excited about prosperity. It could bring me and my family out, and worried that it might be a trap. I'm going to do a deep dive to get more info, but what's your opinion on them? Well, Lockheed Martin, that's a government contractor. So again, if you want to be working for the government, I had a friend who was an engineer, worked for I think what is the big one there? I'm just trying to find what it was. I think Zeus directed energy weapon. Zeus directed energy weapon. So I had a friend. So again, it depends on if you want to work for the government. Description tells how it works. It would be a cool project. Zeus directed energy weapon. Yeah, Parsons. So I had a friend who works on Parsons, and then he quit. And then he quit after several years because he doesn't work for the military, but also wants a change of stuff here. So he worked for Parsons, which literally creates directed energy weapons, and they call it Zeus. Like, my goodness, and this is definitely used in Iraq and so on, without telling people. But they're saying it provides precision stand-up neutralization of surface mines. So using it for surface mines, unexploded ordnance, improvised explosive devices has been deployed. Yeah, so anything, and they can blow these up, and obviously people's brains and so on. This is directed energy weapon ordnance neutralization. Ground-based directed energy weapon system to be approved for production. So this is first one approved, and it's called Zeus and Parsons, and a friend who worked there. I'm gonna go right here. Okay, yeah, all my homies hate the government. Yeah, that's the thing. So it's up to you if you want to work for it. Government, again, killing people I don't like. So that's the thing. Well, it's up to you. If you do work for it, put it all back into the into good use. Because again, even if you don't work for it, paying taxes is the same thing. It's like it's like similar. You pay the government. Like, I don't like paying government. So it's like, yeah. So again, I think I had this, what's it, blue bacon. Let's go to the blue bacon one. So, because I put a screenshot of my friend talking, he sent me a message there. I think this was the fake debate we had. Okay, where's the debate? I think let's go back here. Debate. Why is it not showing? Debate. Wait, does this the it's not showing. Okay, I can't believe it's not showing that. Live stream. Oh, I think I probably made a mistake on the thing. Okay, so I'm gonna go right here. Blue bacon. Actually, we don't even need to do. Yeah. Blue bacon. This one's right here. Go to the notes. When I quote debated that disinfo agent who also has a military clearance. So
hear me.
So again, the guy was an absolute clown show. So I was doing it more for intelligence gathering, like, what is he up to? But again, guy's just a complete clown. Paid consultant, of course, but I don't like the idea of harming innocents. It's but also engineer. Oh yeah, this is one here. So one friend quit his job at Parsons because he couldn't stand working for military contractors. Parsons had developed the Zeus Do. I want to show that, and here's a screenshot I took. This is my friend sent this. Hopefully more money, almost certainly more people, and I don't love working for evil Parsons. I mean, I kind of do, but we straight up do NSA, cell phone hacking, and direct energy weapons and drone strikes. I want to work for a company that is known as a civil engineering company and not one who is known as a military contractor. And also, yeah, Lockheed Martin, I keep a track of their stock price. Basically, the higher it goes, that means war is coming. Lower it goes, it means PSYOP coming to initiate war. So here's Lockheed Martin stock price. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. It's loading the chart. Okay, so it's not working. LMT, search this. I'm gonna refresh, hard refresh. So it's like right when I show it live, it's not working. Okay, let's go back here. Yeah, here's the stock. Yeah, again, here's the stock price. It's going up and up and up. So again, it's like this base, and it pumped. It pumped last year. So you know war's coming. So October 11th, 2024, it pumped. This was after Hamas. No, that was Hamas was 2023, I think. But anyways, you see this huge pump, and obviously what that means is war's coming. So it's like, again, that's stock price. I use it for my tracking. I check their stocks as well. Yeah, and I use it to check like when war's coming, because I don't want to buy it. I don't want to buy this stock, even though it's like, and I think Palantir also went up super high. See the Palantir stock. Palantir stock, technology stock. Stock price, I think they also went up huge. Yeah, so here's Palantir stock as well. It was $6 in 2022, and that's going up like crypto, like Bitcoin, $132. So if you were buying it in literally 2 years ago, or even last year you get like 5x. 2 years ago you would have got like over 10x. So again, and this is like spy on people and so on. And so on. So again, that is what I'm trying to say. These people, just, again, here's the full price. Yeah, just skyrocketing, and so on. Average vol. But what's interesting is even though market cap is huge, because consider stocks, but soon it'll be tokenized on the blockchain. So average volume is $1.5 million. Compare that with like crypto, which is 24/7 worldwide watch list. Let's go. Coin market cap. So that's what I keep saying. Everything's gonna be crypto eventually. Everything and anything. So the volume on Bitcoin alone is 52 billion, and now we got Lockheed Martin. 1.5 million volume because stocks are just slow to trade and so on. But nonetheless, just to illustrate where the world's going, and notice the market cap. Market cap is 108 billion. So let's look at a similar market cap right here. Similar 108 billion. A similar one would be let's say XRP or BNB. The volumes here are in the billions, 1.5 to 3 billion daily volume. So again, eventually Lockheed Martin will be like that once it gets tokenized. But just to illustrate where the world's going, and if you go somewhere that's comparable to its 1 million market cap, I mean 1 million volume. Let's go 1 million. You can't even get in the top 100. So we got, just to illustrate something, we gotta go even further down. Lockheed Martin, 1.5 million daily volume. Keep going. It's still going. Where's the volume? Okay, so some of these are 3 million. Okay, it's 900,000 EPX. This is 325 million market cap. Million. The other one's 100 billion, and the similar daily volumes. Another one, Telcoin here, 368 million market cap, 1 million volume. Anyways. I think we're pretty much done. I'm gonna sidetrack. But also, going back to here and also tokenized stocks. So stocks are getting tokenized. So you can soon buy X. You could buy OnlyFans. Oh my god, don't buy that. Anyways, also you could buy SpaceX and so on. All mirror tokens can be on the Solana blockchain. But every single one, you can start buying it. And Kraken Exchange, you can literally buy stocks, ETFs on tokenized, like tokenized versions. So basically, they you wrap it up in a smart contract, and now you can buy and trade it and so on with Bitcoin and so on around the world, anywhere, anytime. So tokenized, everything will be on blockchain. If you haven't got, bought 3,500 Whiting Petroleum at 70 cents during COVID. Wish I held onto it for a bit because it went over 100. Holy! 1 point, Direct Energy Weapons Symposium, September 17th and 18th, National Harbor. Okay, that's epic stuff. Yeah, so Drew, that's another part. If you're buying stuff, I highly recommend it if you invest dollar cost average and keep a portion where you never touch ever, unless it does 100x. Or even then, as a direct. Yeah, so anyways, so if you bought 3,000 at 17 cents, if you just held, and then you could have funded this whole operation. All right, keep going. Let's see what else you did. Also need advice. Yeah, so I suppose right here, really, that might be a trap. I'm going to do deep dive to get more info, but what's more opinion on them? Well, my opinion, it's a military contractor. But it's again, paying taxes is pretty bad. Working military is a bit worse. But still, again, if you can utilize whatever for good. I suppose specialties, weapons, and I have deep understanding of advanced energy systems. I don't want to give them something to kill us all with, but I have systems that I have designs that have existential implications. Yeah, but it could be a bit of both. I think they could also be looking at it because they probably did. They definitely know you're looking at 9/11 and so on, just from their Palantir data acquisition and so on. I'm looking for a little guidance, a second opinion. I'm asking if it'd be okay if I send you my schematics in case I do agree and it ends up getting me killed. I don't mean to be alarming. I mean, this could be a dream opportunity to bring my family out of poverty, but I also don't want it to cost me my life. So again, up to you. You can send me the schematics either privately or so on. I'll be sure you can send the schematics. And then please indicate private or email me them. Yeah, you can email me at this part here if you don't want them read on streams, live streams. Yes, again, yes, email. Just make sure, just because I do things public here. Mainly as a security system, like I like if I'm doing it publicly and something happens, well, it's you know exactly the storyline of what happened. You had rent to pay. Yeah, defense system synchronizes resources services to support combatant requirements. Yeah, do you have a link to this directed energy symposium? Anyways, I'll post this here. Anyways, I'm done, guys. This is 2.5 hours. The reason I'm going a bit over is because I'm like, again, just got back onto it. Yeah, you can send an email if it's private, but also indicate it, guys, just so I know, just because I read stuff out publicly, I like to do things publicly so that government Palantir doesn't need to look into my stuff. It literally is all there. It's like you want to, because I realize I'm doing something like I'm talking about controversial topics that are very, very sensitive for the ruling elite, so might as well do it publicly, so that. Anyways, in this direct energy symposium, and then literally on September 17th and 18th, unbelievable timing. Okay, anyways, guys, that's all for today. Epic stuff. I'm gonna post this on here. That was a great thingy. And also, yeah, that was my thoughts on that. You do what you gotta do if you have to, but again, try to avoid it if you can. But I also think we could do better if you can get a lot of cash for that and fund the operation, fund the free energy operation and push it for. But anyways, up to you. Yeah, so you got to do what you got to do. But again, you have to realize everything we are doing in some ways is just paying taxes benefits the government and so on. But it's like, well, you got to balance it with. Well, but it's also saying how much. It's like how big of a risk do you want to take / how big of a like how much how much faith do you have in your ability to to change the world. But anyways, so you do what you got to do. I'm not gonna tell you what to do, but obviously the end game, the end game is gotta get free energy out to the public and anti-gravity stuff and so on. Anyways, that's all for today, guys. My son wants to know why you don't play hockey. Me? Oh, hockey. Because I was born in Iraq, and then when we got here, again, we're refugees. So it's like hockey's expensive. Cost. Let's go. I'll do one thing here. Hockey's expensive. Soccer was cheaper. You just play, and even soccer, I didn't play organized sport until I was in the like mid teenage years. I didn't even play anything organized. Until by accident, the soccer coach saw me play by accident. He's like, "Oh, this guy's pretty good." So I was again accidentally made a team. Compare soccer vs hockey costs for kids in Canada. So if you look at kids, the equipment, soccer costs. Oh, let's make a table. This one here. Anyways, equipment for soccer, travel. Oh, it's competitive. 1,000, 2,000. Average cost at 200, 500 per year. But if you want to go competitive, 1,000, 2,000, 500. Hockey cost. You're looking at total average cost for 1,000 to 3,500. So basically, we're talking 5-10x more than soccer. I don't want to be forced into Liars Club. It's a den of lions. Yes, he knows history. Okay, who are we talking about? Anyways, guys, that's all for today, guys. That is all for today, and I'm ending the stream, guys. Anyways, there's a symposium. I think I posted that on here. Okay. So make sure to join. Make sure to come out to the Directed Energy Waste Symposium. All right, let's go. All right, guys, that's all for today, guys. I'm ending the stream, and yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna type right here. Thanks for joining. My dad is Palestinian Muslim, so he understands. Interesting. Yeah, street hockey's the way to go. Yeah, but not like competitive. Yeah, my brother is actually like pro street hockey. If he knew how to like skate, like just like floor hockey. If you know how to skate, he'd be professional. Right, guys? Thanks for joining. And then yeah, thanks for joining. And next Wednesday we'll go deep dive on the consciousness field, and like full on that. That'll be the main topic. Thank you for joining, and have a great day. And yeah, so next one we'll dive into your work so you can prepare how you want it and so on. And if you have any videos, if you want to make it walk through and so on, be easier. As opposed to me just going all over the place. Okay, that's all for today, guys. I'm ending the stream in 3, 2, 1, end stream.